fuck. Hello.
What was that?
I don't know. I literally had nothing. I completely forgot to do a bit. So I just grabbed the only thing I had to hand, which was 2 pens, and I furiously clicked them.
Into the microphone.
Into the microphone.
What the hell?
So professional. Welcome to the world's most professional D&D stream. The
Certainly
most
up there.
professional ever. Welcome back, everybody. Sorry to have missed you, but we are back now with High Rollers D&D. I'm your Dungeon Master, Mark Sherlock Holmes. Joining me, I have my friends.
Fret.
We've got Rhiannon.
Hello.
We've got Trot. We've got Kim.
Where's my friend?
And on the other side, we have Tom. And we have Katie.
Fre.
Hello. Fre.
You know what else is Fre?
Shh. Fre.
Shh. You ruined my segue.
Oh.
Pretend Kim didn't say that. I certainly have.
You know what else is Esh?
Cool.
You go
That's
to
good.
freshstore.co.
Wow.
I like how you have to check with me every time.
No.
He just
I
looks.
can
He's like,
check.
please.
Freshstore.co right now because my dear friends, dear viewers, dear community, dear family. Community. Dear family.
Community D&D.
We are in the final arc of Aerois.
The final,
The final
chapter.
skies.
I've lost my, sorry.
And because of that,
Running yourself?
we have 2 special limited edition items currently on our store, freshstore.co. There is a final art. There's the Aerois pin, like an anniversary celebration pin.
It's so nice.
And then we also have, Sam is showing it off on the lovely screen. Thank you very much, freshstore.co. We also have a final little art poster print of the heroes and villains
Yes.
of Aerois.
It's a glorious piece of
Very
art.
glorious piece by lovely Nina Serena, who did this for us. And that is now available on freshstore.co. They are limited in number. Once they are gone, they are gone.
What else?
There's a little extra bonus though.
Yeah.
Oh, go on.
Yeah. So what I was going to say about these prints is the back of the print will have a limited number on it. So you will have an exclusive number
Nice.
for the print. And also,
I'm a hype man.
Nice.
we're all...
No one knows that I just got up and ran around while the camera was not.
Now they do.
Now they do. But I'm only just back
Shut
in the
up!
conversation.
I'm trying to tell people exciting things, Tom!
Nice.
So we're also going to sign these prints, but we're going to sign them on the back because we don't want to ruin the art. They're A4 size. We're going to sign them on the back. And to do that, we're going to stream us signing them this Tuesday. Bonus stream,
Yeah,
which is
boy.
just going to be super chill. We're going to be signing prints and just having a chat.
Probably
So
chatting about Aerois, chatting about
Yeah.
D&D, chatting about stuff.
come along. I think we're going to start at 7 p.m. on Tuesday. So please come and join us and we will sign your prints.
Yes.
What's that glinting on your chest there, Tom?
I don't know. You tell me. It's move over to you to promote it.
We don't have
It's
any.
the badge.
here.
Oh,
Rihanna does.
Yeah, Rihanna has it.
Okay.
It's actually
On the mama
chunkier
number.
and
It's a
bigger.
chunky
It's a big
boy.
chunky.
It is
You
a
see it?
big
There's
lad.
Sentry.
thick.
You
Yep.
could take out an eye with
It's
it.
got two pins on the back
It
of it,
needs
so
two
it's
pins.
Thick.
Yes.
It's a
Yes.
thick ass boy.
yeah.
It's
I'm
a
trying to kick it off,
big
actually.
medallion.
And it's like it's just a nice little thing along with the print to say, hey, it's the final bit of Aerois, the final chapter, a little celebration of the campaign, the long time. There we go. Nice, good attempt.
Put it on the PTZ.
No, because then he'll show off things.
No.
I don't want him
No.
to show
Oh,
off
that's
things.
good.
Go to
You
Mark's
can see the
camera.
thing on
This
this.
will look great.
There.
Yeah, go to my camera, Sam.
This will look perfect.
It's going to be so in
Won't be out of
focus.
focus.
Yeah!
You can get that.
You can get that blurry mess. But yeah, lovely little thing. Freshstore.co. Once they're gone, they're gone. Limited number, and we'll be doing a little signing stream on Tuesday. To kind of, you can tune in as we chat and sign all of your posters.
Yeah.
Celebrate Aerois.
And thank you in advance for all of your support on that and for following Aerois in general.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It has been a wild ride. Is there anything else to mention?
If you want to support us further, you can head over to Patreon or join us on YouTube Members, and you get access to special videos like behind the scenes and also permanent access to Warhammer and all future
Warhammer role-playing game. Let's
Warhammer
make that clear.
role-playing game.
Warhammer role-playing game.
and all future mini-series we may do outside of the regular D&D streams.
Yep. The Warhammer campaign, you can watch it. It's available on Twitch, so it's live. You don't have to be a member to watch it live, and it will be on the Twitch VODs, but once they're gone off the Twitch VODs, they last, I think, about 6 weeks. Once they're gone, they're only going to be available to YouTube members and Patreons, so if you want to join us and watch those, maybe you want to go back in the future, maybe you want to wait till we've finished the mini-series and then binge it all, make sure you're a YouTube member or a Patreon supporter for that. We're playing through the Enemy Within Warhammer Fantasy Role-Playing Game campaign. It's been a lot of fun.
It's
been
been
a ton of fun.
rad.
Yeah.
It's a very cool little module. With that done, shall we done and then recap?
Hang on, wait.
No, it's got
Oh, he was about to sneeze. What the fuck? Oh, hang on. Is that where you were?
little pin.
Oh, he's sneaking. Sneaking on you.
There's the
Twist it to
pin.
the side.
yeah.
Twist it to the side. Show how thick it is.
Look at it.
Oh, it's lovely.
It is thick. Look at that.
Look at
boy.
It's a chunky boy.
You can kill a man with that.
Show the back.
And I
show
will.
The,
Please
show the
don't,
double
though.
backs.
The double back. Oh.
No. Oh, that's how many pins it needs.
Back.
Does a double pinback really deserve an oh?
Yes.
It's
It's chunky.
secure.
Okay.
You're not losing this thing.
People
That's
need
how
to know.
quality it is.
Yeah.
With that, let's done.
Lol.
I've done something.
Welcome to Aerois. Our champions have been on a long and arduous journey. After crashing on the continent of Suvona in an airship, meeting a young girl, escorting her across the wilds, losing her to a strange portal and her absentee father, Callus Valkyrian. They have lost allies, they have completed quests, they have become the champions of Aerois. Having defeated various titans and restoring power to the goddess Siaska. Having faced against many villainous foes, both personal and those who serve an even greater evil, it has now come to the point where the final battle awaits. Hadar, the star of entropy, the all-consuming red light, now aware of the awakened goddess Siaska's presence, hungering, starving for it. There is only a matter of time until they come to Aerois. And so, with your new ally, Callus Valkyrian, his fleet, the allies that you have gained along the way, you have set forth into astral space to travel to the far reaches of the far realm, the border of the astral void, and a world called Entropis, an ancient world that serves as the breach point to Hadar's prison. When last we left our heroes, you had boarded your ship, the Storm Chaser, as well as the enormous Solvin battleship, the Astoria, with the various dragon ships. You have ascended into Aerois' sky and out into the astral space beyond. And that is where we pick up for this, our final arc.
No pressure.
No
We
pressure.
just have to
No pressure.
solve this.
Yeah. Yep.
Just Hadar.
You can solve it by smashing your face against it enough times, right?
Smash your face into Hadar. I think he'll like it. Probably.
Headbone.
I don't want to get my head close to him. He's a biter.
Oh, true. Oh, teeth.
Yeah. I don't want to get nibbed.
Nibbed.
Nibbled.
If there's no specific prompt right now, Lucius will be doing
Taxes.
falling into captain routine and checking on everybody, checking on first mates and make sure Aerois all right in space.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time the Storm Chaser having been outfitted with various Magitech enhancements and even magical enhancements. This is the first time that the Storm Chaser itself, with no cradle, no protective barrier around Aerois, the ships are able to simply fly up and out into the astral sea, into the astral space beyond. Aerois seems comfortable at the helm. Probably would make references like it's not so different to the ocean, really. It feels, the controls feel the same. It feels no different to flying it in Aerois' airspace. It seems to be getting on with it fine. The crew, the Wolfpack, Lancian, Penny, Kamara, many of the others, Greylana, Lookout, Howard, are kind of all gawking. Like, there is lots of kind of like, they're at the edges of the ship, and the Storm Chaser being like an airship, a sailing ship, it is protected by an invisible kind of magical field that keeps the atmosphere in. This is something that Azaria Perel, an enchantress on Horizon, built for you, is that, you know, there's oxygen, there's gravity, there's air, there's, you know, the cold temperature of astral space doesn't filter in. So it is almost, if you remember the film Treasure Planet, it is very much like that, where it is like a galleon out in space, but you can go right up to the edges, and perhaps like maybe a couple of the Wolfpack like kind of try to push their hands through and find that there is kind of this magical barrier. It doesn't stop them, but it offers resistance that you have to physically kind of will your hand to go through. And a couple that try it quickly find that, yeah, their hand goes freezing cold and they have to pull it back in. And there's a couple of maybe get sent down to the medical ward in Greylano's cabin.
They stuck their head out.
Yeah, and then like they go blue, they're like, and they get pulled back in. But yeah, they are, you know, people are in awe of the world and what they are doing, but in terms of actual managing the ship, it really doesn't feel any different to the crew than being sort of in the atmosphere of Aerois. Yeah, it's kind of, it's almost these are astral winds almost. You know, it's like, it is called the astral sea for a reason. It feels kind of similar. You see the Tassadar, Callus's kind of one of Callus's main battleships, his flagship, alongside various other Valkyrian ships, the Dragon Soul ships as well that flew up from Aerois with you, and then the immense Astoria, which kind of dwarfs many of the others, even bigger than the Tassadar itself. This enormous chunk of a city that has been retrofitted in the same way as the Storm Chaser itself, with these kind of like atmospheric fields, but almost is like a chunk of city that's been lifted up in the air with engines strapped to it, cathedrals reshaped into command bridges, and, you know, turrets and watchtowers turned into, you know, weapons platforms and things like that. And that is flying alongside you as you go as well, as you ascend into astral space. It will be some time before you reach the edges of where you need to go. Callus would have probably sent a communication to you that they basically give you a sort of passcode, or like a kind of like a crystalline signal, like a kind of musical tone, that if you broadcast it will allow you to access the sort of subplanar space called the Infinite Staircase, which is almost like I believe you used the River Styx last time you were in astral space to do this, but it's almost like warp speed. It's like warp travel basically. The Infinite Staircase links all of the planes together in a subplane, and it allows you to quickly get to different places.
And what is the tune? The tone?
Do, 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 do. Yeah, sure. But it's like a kind of, yeah, it's like a series of musical tones that is, when played in a certain sequence, it's like a passcode. It's like sending a digital signal, but
so we're just
magic.
waiting to enter.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, and it's like, even once you go into that space, it will probably still take a couple of days of you just traveling through the Infinite Staircase to get to the very outreaches. And you know that you're heading to a place called the Broken Veil, which is effectively like a war front. It is a section of astral space where Valkyrians' armies and forces have been battling against Hadar, and it's kind of been this slow pushback. Like, the Valkyrian forces have constantly been pushed back over the millennia, and they've lost ground, but they kind of try and hold out as long as they can, as this just wave of Hadar just slowly pushes them out of where they're trying to go. And that is called the Broken Veil. The war front is called the Broken Veil, and that's where you're heading to.
Okay.
Well, everybody, we've been given the code by Callus. Everyone's strapped in. I don't know how it
Do we
works.
need to be strapped in?
I don't know.
Nova?
I've checked
idea how this
everyone
works?
3 times.
Do you not remember the last time we were? No, you don't need to be strapped in.
We were in Thada's very nicely enclosed spaceship.
Yeah, I can see everything out there.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Definitely trust Zarya.
It's close.
The infinite of space.
Feels so close. Much closer.
I could stare at this all day.
Just a quickie about the infinite staircase.
Wow.
Are we going to feel every step, or is it just going to be...
Is
There
it
may
like
be some
falling down?
turbulence.
If you have to walk up it, that'll take.
We didn't have any sort of legs.
It's not an actual.
I know, I'm joking. I'm deflecting from the reality of us facing Hadar. How
Which-
about that?
Also Zakira. And also
I forgot about her.
All her minions.
also
That
minions.
she's enlisted.
So,
She will definitely not have forgotten about us.
Nah.
no, last time she threw an asteroid at us.
Yeah.
We've got
No,
stronger since
last
then.
time
We have.
was when we picked up Vala.
Oh yeah.
And when she kidnapped you and sucked your brain out.
Vala called her a bitch.
Yeah. Yeah, she did.
We did
was
kick
great.
her ass last time, so
Yeah, we did.
we can do it again.
She is probably more powered this time, though, with her alliance with Hadar.
So are we.
So are we.
So we've our alliance to Siaska.
Yeah.
And
And
also
we've got-
Starbane somehow.
Starbs,
Yeah.
which he doesn't
Starbs.
like to be called.
You went up and called him that.
Yeah.
Starbs.
It's weird though, because for a while there I thought it wasn't canonical. But then it somehow became canonical.
Really was.
I did call him
We all
Starb,
saw that.
I don't
He
know why.
saw that. He heard that.
I think in a moment of panic, it just kind of happened.
he looked at you.
He did.
Real funny.
Yeah.
You really diffused the tension, though, asking Garador to teach.
That was the
Sentry
plan.
some
That's why I did it.
recipes. Really
I've got
helped.
some crumble for the journey.
Great.
Oh, we've also got supplies for many more crumbles. I've made sure Howard is well stocked.
Excellent.
I actually
walking
did my job.
Yeah, and you pretty much have the whole crew. Everybody's basically going about their business, trying to attend to their duties and things like that. You have the old sort of airship wheel has been replaced by a command console, sort of at the aft.
Back.
Fore and aft, yeah, the aft of the ship.
Not bad.
There's no more sort of like big giant sailing wheel. There is now a very sort of like Star Warsy, Star Trek kind of like crystalline console with different sections
You
for
have
carrying
to
things.
stand in it and sort of,
No.
That makes
Great for
infinite
podcast
staircase.
listeners, by the way. You're just doing this motion.
for podcast listeners, I'm Pacific rimming.
Yeah.
I don't even say that.
Oh, it doesn't sound great, does it?
No.
It's more like a kind of round, or I guess like a large metal and crystal table with various different sort of sections built into it. And Aerois has like a command, has like almost like pilot controls. There's a section for Quill's navigation tools and arrays.
Oh, God, yeah.
Then there is a general sort of stations for monitoring everything else. Nova, you still have at the moment you don't need to be in it. Right now it's kind of the ship's just like operating in kind of low power mode. But you will need to, if you want to have fully access to the engineering suite, very much like last time, the sort of pod that is built into the etheric engines. Azaria has powered them with elementals, but they are not the most powerful elementals.
So I was going to ask about this, but there was like a million and one other things that we had Daddy Storbs
Starbs.
about. Surely he has vast quantities of celestials and fiends at
He
his...
does. They're in the Empire. They're citizens of the Empire.
Yeah, they're like.
Could we just ask
functional.
him for a couple from his ship?
But that would.
How about Garador?
Are you
would be
seriously
something
asking,
that-
would you like to, can you send over a couple of people to be enslaved into our
Well,
engines?
he's done it to everyone else.
Oh, he hasn't. It's all voluntary.
Yeah, no, it felt a bit weird.
Yeah. At the moment it is just two minor, it'd probably be elementals
Prince
that
Grass.
Azaria has bound
Grass ain't
into.
doing much.
You can certainly, if you seriously ask, Callus would be, are you seriously asking?
Do you want to seriously ask?
What's it gonna? How
It
is
would
it gonna
power
help?
up the engines.
Is that gonna help?
It would make the Storm Chaser more powerful.
If you can even do it now that you are
Yeah,
out.
but we are mid.
Yeah, we're
They
mid astral
voluntarily do it, or
state.
is it just a full-on? They are
Get in
submitting
there.
their body.
Get in there.
You make an Arcana check for me, Lucius.
from the fact that we had to trap them in a Pokeball,
No.
I feel like
I mean, you have no idea, but it doesn't sound fun being stuck in an engine.
It's okay. Look, we don't
I rolled a 2.
we don't need it. We can have Hadar and Siaska in the engines. Can you imagine? Oh, the places we'll go.
Man, we'll see the future, the past, and the present at the same time.
we just got her
already
back.
Perhaps I have not made it clear that the process that you were originally kind of like instructed by Azaria was to take a magic sphere, forcibly capture a magical being, and then she would bind it to the engine.
So they're too high level. Then we're going to need like a Master Sphere or something.
Sure, if that's what you
Two
want to
Master
take from
Spheres.
this.
I'm going to have to ROM hack to get
good
2
aligned
Master Spheres.
champions of Aerois. Absolutely.
Okay, let's
We didn't
not.
ask for that title.
I'm just saying. Says the lady who wanted to free Eterna from all of their sort of
That's a
Yeah.
Turner. Don't care about fiends.
same thing. Yeah, they don't count. Ooh, right.
I'm going to veto that idea,
Yeah.
just so you don't think about it too much, and we'll head on our way through the infinite staircase. How about that? Do, 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 do. This is a little fiddle.
No, that sounded way
could
too
be
much for
something
something.
Lucius
else.
playing a fiddle.
I don't know the melody.
What's the one from Close Encounters? Get another sci-fi reference in there. It's the Close Encounters song. But no, the message is passed along. You would receive a communication. This would probably come through Quill's console on the Storm Chaser. It would be
They're
kind
hailing
of
us.
a little illusory projection. It would be a hail, like, almost like a hail, but it's like a little 3D illusory projection. And it would probably be of, I believe you put Rain in command of the Astoria in the end.
So yeah.
I believe
It's at
so.
least part of the
Part of the command team.
command team, yeah.
It'll be Rain just saying, Clear Sky Storm Chaser, this is the Astoria. We've received clearance and communication from the rest of the fleet. We are proceeding into the Infinite Corridor now.
Excellent.
Clear. Yep.
Okay.
Quill.
I don't know military.
Aerois.
Thanks. I don't know military. I don't, Sentry, get up here.
Hello.
Say yes.
Everything's fine here.
Like,
Everything's fine here.
Look,
How are you?
I don't know military. Like affirmative.
Affirmative
Yeah.
works.
Affirmative,
Just
okay.
confirm.
Acknowledged.
That's what I did. I said yes.
You
I
said
said-
hesitantly, Quill.
Didn't
Come on, you're a
say
hero.
confidently.
Okay.
confidence. We can do
Yes.
Exactly.
They've gone.
It's already it.
Yeah,
I
you
know.
start to see probably the Valkyrian ships first, but and I don't think you guys would have seen this because the last time you engaged in this, you were inside Thalia's ship, the Twin Star Longbow. You watch as in front of all of the Valkyrian ships, and you hear this tone sort of echoed through space almost to you. You almost hear like reverberate, not the sound, but almost the vibration kind of like hits you and you feel it more than you hear it. But you watch as they all emit some sort of like energy pulse and like glowing spheres, almost like wormholes, appear in front of each ship, and then they pass into them physically, and then the doors shut behind them.
Was it like when they teleported Project Vanguard?
Yeah, similar to, yeah. And then you watch as each of the different ships kind of do this, and then they pass through, and you watch as the Dragon Soul ships do the same thing, and even the Astoria itself kind of emits this pulse. And it's almost like space itself reacts to the sound and opens up this kind of gateway, this portal, and then the ship passes through. And Aerois is just like, permission to go ahead with this, this, whatever it is.
Acknowledged.
Aye, aye, Captain. Like taps a few crystals on the console, and Nova, you would probably get like a request coming through into the sort of like engineering of like to divert power and project this magical pulse. And yeah, you guys see the same thing. Before you, it initially appears almost just like pure white. This like wormhole. You don't actually see into it, and the ship begins to pass through. Any of you who are at the fore of the ship at the front, which I believe Penny is normally stationed there, as that's where some of the weapons are, as well as lookout. Any of the rest of you who would want to be up at the front, you would see first as the ship itself passes through this disc of light. You emerge into it's hard for your brain to comprehend because it feels like you are in a rectangular kind of corridor that seems to stretch out in front of you, but it is constantly twisting and rotating. But within it, there are multiple other corridors and cubes that are doing the same thing, creating a stair-like pattern, but that extends in front of you, as if you were flying up a massive coiling staircase, like a cube. And you can see that there are kind of sections of it that almost seem to break away like windows. And perhaps they lead to other planes or different locations, you're not sure. But it is... it's like looking at a magic eye for too long. Like if you stare ahead of you for too long, your eyes almost start to hurt and like you have to kind of like look away, or you start to feel yourself losing balance and almost feeling like you're losing your place of where you are. So you kind of have to like look down at the deck or look at somebody next to you or something like that to refocus yourself. And eventually all of you on the ship, as the ship passes through, you hear like a couple of wolf pack like, oh, what the, by the gods, but it's my eyes. It's just like, it's like I'm going up the stairs, but I'm not. And like, you know, they're just calling out nonsense as they do. Kamara just kind of shouts out to them, enough, come on, get back to your duties. No time for slacking off. And just kind of calls out to them, and they're like, yes, ma'am, and they kind of get back to it. But they're definitely kind of like taken in by everything. You see like Howard and Lancian kind of stood next to each other on the deck, and Lancian just kind of like runs his hand through his hair, and just like Howard just next to him, and they both are just like, they just kind of let out a noise of like, oh man, what the hell are we doing?
It's very real now.
Very real. But the rest of you see is the infinite staircase. And you don't actually see the other ships, but you almost think that where you can see these like micro cubes, almost like these other corridors next to you, must be where other ships are, because it's like there are hundreds of them scattered in front of you as well. It's very perplexing to the mind. But you imagine that that's where the other ships are located. And it doesn't seem to interfere with your communications. You are still able to send messages and stuff like that, as long as you're all in the infinite staircase at the same time.
I think Nova will definitely come up from the engine room to watch this, almost pressing her face against the resistors, just, whoa.
Well, remember, if you're in the pod, you don't need to. You can see from anywhere on the ship. You go almost bound into the magic of the ship, so you're experiencing this in a way that none of the others are, Nova.
Like in VR.
You can feel the infinite energy that's almost surrounding you, like maybe not infinite, but like just vast amounts of energy, and being both nowhere and somewhere at the same time is this very strange kind of feeling as the ship is ascending. And it's almost like you feel like the ship's rising, but it's going forwards. But
we're staying in the same
forward
place,
motion.
but we're moving.
Yes.
And
it's that very strange kind of sense of motion. And just immense amounts of power washing through you as the ship itself is charting its course along the infinite staircase.
I think, it will just blow her tiny mind just to be able to experience this.
Very cool.
I love space.
And it will probably, and you get a message saying that you'll probably be here for about 2 days, like of real space time.
I've already thrown up.
Because it is the far end of the known astral space where you're going.
All right, time to settle in, I guess.
This is our surroundings for a couple days. I'm trying not to look at it.
Make sure to take lots of breaks. Maybe go below deck if it's getting too much. Give your eyes a rest.
Yeah, stretch your little birdie legs.
Okay.
I did distribute a pamphlet on health and safety measures for this portion of the trip. Did you not read it?
Yeah.
When did you have time to make that, Nova?
I was stayed up all night. I couldn't sleep. I was too excited.
I might have used mine as ammunition and thrown it as a test to one of the wolf pack again.
They're getting pretty good.
I didn't have any rocks, so I thought that, think fast. No, pamphlet.
When you say the words "think fast," a couple of the wolf pack like hit the deck.
They're getting good.
They spring back up again.
See?
We're getting really good.
We're tested.
I sneezed earlier and I used something. I think it might have been the pamphlet.
It's good to know that my efforts and concerns about your physical and mental well-being.
I needed to wipe my beak.
Famously mucusy. But
Just imagine a bird sneezing, though.
It'd be so cute.
Would.
Would it though if it's giant?
I mean, a quill sneeze is super like.
This is going to be my reminder for spellcasters who can swap their spells. This is going to be
Yeah,
a time
that's
if
a
you
good
want to
point.
change and compare different spells. Now is that time to do so.
That reminds me, I ended up picking, much like Lucius, a ring of spell storing with my spare attunement slot. Now that the wing is not needed. As
So remember, if you want it, you've got to choose what spell's going to go into that. It's up to 5th level.
Yeah, I've got just a Mass Cure Wounds in there.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's my attuned item.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll swap out all my spells, get rid of all the. I think Calm Emotions is a good one to keep here. That'll make the difference. Yeah.
Sure.
Just imagine if Valkyra fails it,
of
though.
the reminders of the Storm Chaser itself. There are a couple of roles that need to be filled out. Captain is Lucius. There is no changing that. Lucius is indeed the captain. I'm assuming you would like Aerois to stay as the pilot for the Storm Chaser.
She's most adept at astral sea, as in ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She is the. I think Lucius has been trained in how to fly the Storm Chaser, as has
No wheel.
Lancian. No wheel, but you know the commands. You know the how to do it on the
Okay.
old Crystal Magitech
So
console.
we can do it in a.
You can still do it.
Blind
yeah,
panic.
it all works, and Lancian can as well. But again, it's like Aerois is the best, Lucius is probably the next best, and then Lancian is like the last choice before the rest of you who
I
have
feel like
minuses
Ayla's
to
the
do it.
definite last choice.
Yeah.
Woo!
Ayla has good natural reflexes.
Yeah.
I imagine that probably actually Sentry might be the worst because like you don't have like your dex is kind of quite low,
I'm not-
right?
yeah,
and
I'm
you're
not
in
very
heavy
high
armor,
dex.
so like
Yeah,
probably
you'd be like Tokyo drifting it.
She'd just be a bit.
you would be
weird.
not as
Yeah.
bad as the others, but definitely not the worst, the
I mean,
best.
power steering. If power steering's off, you need someone strong to grab that wheel and shove.
Sure.
There's no wheel though. Just buttons.
There's
Less
also
interesting though.
Grab those buttons and shove.
Get Pacific rimming.
Nobody should do that.
Oh, I don't get the problem.
There's also the navigator. I'm assuming you would like Quill to stay in the navigator's role. Nova as the engineer.
Thought I'd be a cook, maybe.
Try it.
The cook is not is a ship's role, but it is not the kind of role we need to worry about.
Yeah, I'll be.
Sure.
Make Howard the pilot. That will really shit him up.
Really, yeah. That'll,
Make him the
sure.
captain.
You can do whatever you like.
Leo,
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
can you put a mass cure wounds of highest level into this?
Yeah. Is there nothing else you want in there? You've seen it before. You know what it looks like. Why are
Do
you
it.
bracing?
Just be quick.
Okay, fine. I cast it. It makes no light. Mass wounds. Yes. Yeah. It's in there.
So you both have mass kill wounds.
Are you actually able to cast it if it's
Anyone can cast it once
Yeah.
it's casted.
it's in the ring? Okay.
Gito
Yeah.
was doing that at the end of Nightfall.
Laura would put mass cure wounds in and then Juto had
I blitzed
as
it.
like a
So I
backup.
can think of anything more strategic. That's probably the best option.
Calm emotions multiple times.
Create bonfire.
Against insane.
Counter
Maddening.
spell.
Travel via plant.
Zarkira.
That
Counter
doesn't
spell.
exist, unfortunately. That's
I'll ask around. Azaria might know a spell or two.
Actually, there is a plant. It's in Quill's room. I put it there. Spoiler!
so if there's a plant on
there is technically a plant.
Entropus, we can somehow get back to the Storm Chaser. Don't ask how it works. No one really knows.
Well, it's good to know.
I put a tree in his room.
For reference, all of the other NPCs that you wanted to have travel with you either are on the Tassadar or they are currently on the Astoria.
Cool.
You only have yourselves and the Storm Chaser crew on the Storm Chaser currently. The other things to mention is the Storm Chaser has 2 weapons. Well, 3 weapons, but only 2 of them need to be manned. There is...
Third one's Ayla.
Yeah, Ayla's
Sorry, 4 weapons then in that
Okay.
case. There is what is being referred to as the Perel Energy Cannon, which is the new magical cannon that Azaria Perel built for the ship. Currently, Penny, who's like one of your marksmen, is currently on that. There is also a rotary turret, or like an arcane turret on the bottom, which can face any arc. So the main cannon can only fire forwards. The rotary turret can fire in any direction around. There is also the Perel magical missiles, which you had installed previously,
Yeah, I thought
which can be activated by the navigator, the captain, or the pilot.
Okay.
But they are limited. They are only 3 uses, and you get 1d3 charges every 24 hours.
Okay.
And yeah,
The Perel arcane cannon on the front, is that the one that was installed in like the opening maw of the front of the ship?
Yeah, it kind of, and it is a massive magical energy cannon. It's very powerful. Not as powerful as it could have been because of you guys not going out and choosing not to go and chase after the elementals or whatever and the magical beings. Yeah, you were busy, and that's fine. Like sometimes you can't complete every side quest.
We used an elemental to make a fridge.
You used an elemental to make.
I just realised that was the perfect.
Well,
opportunity
also,
to get a
Lucius
little-
did throw away the capture sphere
He
as
threw
well.
the Pokeball at my head when I was disintegrating.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really helpful.
Panicked.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
Dying.
the cannon and the weaponry, does the cannon at the front, does that take like a time to charge, or is it like an instant fire thing? So it'll
It
recharge?
just, because it's not the upgraded version, it is just a more powerful ship weapon. It is just a powerful cannon that fires forwards.
Okay, it's just repeatable.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. And that's where it's manned. Like Penny is literally like sat into it and can control it, but it can only fire forwards. There is the
She
rotary.
doesn't have a lot of controls.
Huh?
She has a red
It
button
can kind
for
of
fire.
like aim around. Yeah,
okay.
it's like can aim a little bit, but it can't like face the sides or backwards. Is
Yeah.
the main thing.
Okay.
There is also the fact that you also have the crew as well. The wolf pack. Right now, it's assumed there are 12 members of the wolf pack of crew in total. It is assumed that 6 of them are basically below decks, helping with the engines, doing like other ship tasks, and then you have 6 on the deck who are basically like attending to the sky sails or like attending to things that need doing. They are all equipped with force rifles. You did spend some time in training to get them equipped, so they have like Magitech guns, so they are equipped for combat as well. And then you have Penny, Lancian, Howard, and Kamara on the crew as well. Greylano and Lookout are non-combatants, so they don't fight if a fight occurs. They are just there to perform ship duties.
Sure.
All right. So any other kind of things you want to do over the next couple of days whilst you are traveling? Any conversations or prep or things you would like to do?
Is Thalia on the Twin Star on the Astoria or
Is docked into one of
docked.
their ships. Yeah, you can send communications. You just can't. You can't teleport whilst technically in the Infinite Staircase. Like at the moment, it is. You can send messages, but you can't really do much more than that.
Is the message sending a closed channel?
I mean, it's
Well,
called the sending spell. So.
yeah. Closed channel if you go through me.
Not closed channel.
That's not
Quill will
closed,
tell
that's
everyone.
not-
I won't tell everyone. I'll
tell most people.
Lucius,
and
yeah.
Taylor and Sentry and
Everyone.
Araya and Howard and Lancian and
Everyone.
probably Lookout.
Everyone.
Lookout will know about it. I'll probably send a message to Kyrie as well, just big cat. Starbane, I'll drunk sending Starbane.
Oh my god, can you imagine?
Probably call them Starbs again.
Hey Zarkira, you won't believe who's coming and what she just said. Us. And some nasty shit.
If you get it on a party line, so it's like 3,
Yeah, I'm wondering if I'm trying to think of some like potential Eye of the Storm questions if we want to know anything
I was
in
thinking
advance.
that.
But
Are we all gonna die?
it's such an open question. It will
Obviously.
show. Thing
He'll
is,
just
that
Doctor
would probably
Strange
show
it
me
and be
not just Hadar, which is insanity inducing as it is, but a million different ways to die against Hadar.
Yeah.
I'd probably shake violently and then burst.
Explode.
Yeah.
Are we safe here is a good for the next 2 days, whether the Infinite Staircase is a
Oh, we're
safe
fine.
something we need to be on edge for infinite
So
astral.
all
That's
the
a good
infinite
point.
things that could attack us.
Before
I'll
when
ask that.
We were in this before, and
You were in the River Styx before, which is
we were in.
the
So it
other
was
type
different.
of
That was
subplane.
more dangerous.
That is more dangerous,
Okay,
yes,
that's
because
right.
this one was the Infinite Staircase has been sort of locked down by the Valkyrian fleet. When you get to the Broken Veil,
That's when
you will
it's-
probably have to leave it because it probably will no longer be safe there. And like Stubbs would have told you that. Starbane would have said.
You just call it Starbs!
I can because I'm the DM and this is a non-in-universe
you might,
entity
Champagne.
who's speaking. But yeah, like Callus probably would have said that basically that you will be forced out of the Infinite Staircase when you draw near the Broken Veil, because if there will be Hadar creatures inside that who are like fighting, there'll be forces inside it as well. So it
Maybe
kind of
something
like
about
breaks
our
apart.
arrival then, like how safe is our
What we'll see when we
when we
Leave.
arrive at the Broken Veil?
Maybe like, what is Sarkira up to? Like, where is she right
Something around Zarkira would be good.
Finding a location would be useful.
Or what kind of powers she's gained since
We need specifics. We need like a
something specific. Yeah.
thing that we can see. So if it's just Zarkira and the feet around her, then
I mean, if I ask, what powers has Zarkira gained from Hadar, that I might get a decent answer. I might just see Zarkira right now, but that still might be something.
what about what building is Zarkira residing in right now?
Is there a building?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Might be rebuilding.
What structure?
I don't think it's
But we won't
Entropy.
be there for another couple of days, so maybe it's a closer to exiting
So
the
Starbane.
thing.
Yeah, Starbane told us previously that Zarkira will either ambush us in the Broken Veil or lay in wait on Entropis.
Yep.
Be nice to know if she's
Based on what? Remember, that's what
Yeah,
Starbane.
based on their intelligence. Yeah.
Well, that's what Valkyrian thinks. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, intelligence, they don't really have any intelligence on Zarkira. That is his character assumption. You know, remember, just because I say it doesn't mean it's true. Like, I am playing the NPCs.
I did precede it
Yeah,
with
no, I know.
Starbane
Instead,
thinks.
yeah. I just want to make that clear. Like, you know, sometimes I will say stuff that an NPC thinks. Doesn't mean it's true. Just is what that NPC thinks.
Maybe you'll get a better result now that Siaska's around with asking things.
maybe.
yeah, maybe just is Zarkira awaiting us at the Broken Veil?
Will
And
she
there
be?
we'll know
waiting?
if she's
I
there
mean,
or Entropy.
The
somewhere else.
Broken Veil is the entire quadrant, so that's quite
Massive,
a large.
awesome. Yeah.
It's whether she's on Entropis or
Yeah.
whether she is going to be in the Broken Veil. It's
Is
like
she at
elsewhere.
the Terminus Keep?
Is she on Entropis or is she not going to be on Entropis?
You're the man who has to ask these questions.
Or
Quill.
something about abilities.
We could do where will Zarkira be in 2 days, perhaps, because that's when we leave here, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that maybe works.
Maybe. It might be
Unless she
too
changes
vague.
her mind.
Well, you've got your 3 charges.
Yeah.
She could be
But
on the
it's
toilet.
remember
in 2
you
days.
because it's
She could be. I really don't want to see that.
No.
the charges take a while to recharge, so you probably won't get to use the Eye of the Storm again until this is done.
Yeah.
Shoot,
Another question could be is why has Hadar not destroyed Entropis? Because there's something about Entropis, he's kept it intact. He's destroyed everything else.
Yeah.
But there's something about Entropis, so is there something that we could use to our advantage? Is he tethered there permanently? Would destroying it free him? Can he not destroy it? What? Why? Why has he left this one planet untouched when everything else is ruined?
Sounded like he did that by choice, not that he couldn't destroy it.
But it would be good. It would,
It'd be good to know why.
because maybe it could be something we could turn to our advantage.
But we have to punch through that to get to where he is. So he's not on Entropis. He's
Terminus
beyond
Keep is on Entropis.
That's
Terminus
the
Keep is
beyond
where
that.
he is.
that, right? Is he beyond that? Did you say?
Terminus Keep is not
It's not.
on Entropis. It is a
beyond
place that
it.
is in the Far Realm.
It
They
is in the Far
created
Realm.
it, but
So
the
that's why
point
he
to
was a-
reach Terminus Keep is on it.
Is on Entropis.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where we
Yeah.
punch through to where he
Yeah.
actually is.
To Terminus.
You will
yeah.
break through on Entropis into Terminus Keep.
Yeah.
It was Terminus Keep is kind of like a subplane or like a demiplane that borders the Far Realm and astral space, and to reach it you go via Entropis. It's like the portal to it would be on Entropis if there was a portal to it.
Yeah.
It's like when you fought Kalarin, you had to go to the keep
Yeah.
where she had bound herself to. It's a similar process. A physical place that you have to break through.
There you go.
So it could be as simple as he needs Entropis to enter this world.
I mean, it's still amongst everything else that he's devoured and destroyed. There is still that one point that he keeps. It might just be his way in or out, but
What would you like to ask?
I would
If
like
anything.
to ask with maybe just the one charge for now because I want to keep the rest.
Okay.
Yeah, that question: why hasn't Hadar destroyed Entropis?
That's the question you'd like to ask.
Yes.
Okay. Your vision turns cloudy. Similar to before, when this was a gift from Hesper, the vision is clear and bright. There is no uncertainty there.
Okay.
Almost as if that connection, that power has been restored in some way.
Like a divine intervention. Okay.
You see... you see a broken world. A world that parts of it have been broken and shattered and are now almost separating away from itself. It is without any life. It is plain. There are structures, buildings, ruins mainly. Very little of it remains fully intact, but there are many ruins. No trees, no oceans, nothing, not even dirt or soil. It is dust, mostly. Grey stone. The ruins themselves, things like features have mostly been worn away, but you see signs of humanoid statues and shapes, cloaked and hooded, bearing weapons, and you see eroded technology. Not like the Valkyrians or crystal magitech, this is technology. Circuits, cogs, things that Quill might not, cogs you would understand, but like, complex gear systems, machinery, electronics, but you wouldn't have really an idea of how it works. But it is all eroded but not rusted. It's gone black, seized up, no longer functional but not rusty. Silent. It's strange, most of your visions are accompanied by sounds and smells. You can hear and feel as if you are in a real place. This is deathly silent. You begin to see the world almost in fast motion. The planet spins rapidly. You see ships. Sometimes Valkyrian ships, sometimes Nautiloids, the Mind Flayer ships, Githyanki ships. You see creatures come to this world as if being called. And they arrive. They look very different to how they leave. They become corrupted, influenced. You see the mark of Hadar on each of these vessels that leaves. Mouths where there shouldn't be mouths, tentacles where there shouldn't be tentacles, red light instead of purple magitech. You feel a presence. Come, yes, join, be gifted before the end. Help me. And enjoy bliss before it all becomes nothing. Your vision begins to zoom away from Entropis. And Quill, you see hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of creatures, ships, just forming this flotilla, this armada of an immense, immeasurable scale, waiting. Entropis is being used to call, a place for living creatures that swear themselves to Hadar as a sort of pilgrimage. It is where Hadar's influence is strongest. That's your answer.
Okay. I mean, I'm communicating this as I see it rapidly to everyone, but so yeah, you all know that. But like the millions of ships I see, it's just forming this shield around Entropis,
like an armada, yeah, like around it, but like at a great distance, not like a shell, but like a ring, and sort of like easily could defend it, like a defensive force. But you probably would see that some of it gets sent off from time to time, but it's never been fully mobilized. You get the impression it is the answer to your question is yeah, Entropis is Hadar is keeping Entropis. The reason that Hadar hasn't destroyed it is because he's using it as this kind of pilgrimage, a place to call people to.
It's Hadar's prime, just calling people in. So that's why. To corrupt and influence anyone that dares enter Entropis territory. But I saw more ships than I've ever seen before surrounding this place. So when we leave, that may well what we're up against.
We can't be detected. If one of them sees us, they're all going to descend upon us.
Maybe connected, yes. So that's what we have to break through. But that is why it's a beacon and a location for people to arrive at.
It may be best to share this with Starbane and Siaska.
Yeah.
If you'd like to, you can contact them via the main ship's console, the communication system. A flickering image of Callus would appear. Storm Chasers, you wish to speak with me about some intelligence?
Yes, I just used the Eye of the Storm to glimpse Entropis, and we tried to determine why Hadar has felt it necessary to keep that place standing while everything else is devoured. I know you're not the biggest fan of my visions, but
say that I have come to have greater faith in them now that I have understood more about them.
Well, I saw ships from every race, every nation, every planet, plane, trying to reach Entropis, and the influence spreading into them and joining Hadar's army, and the force that he has available to him. I've never seen anything like it. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of ships surrounding Entropis.
This confirms what Siaska and I believed. I'm sorry that if you had contacted me, I could have given you perhaps some of this information.
Well, we wanted to determine why Entropis specifically was still standing, but...
that is not something I knew specifically. But we have been aware that Hadar calls people, creatures, to it. Indoctrinates them, perhaps, or convinces them to act as its servants, much like Zakira has done. They become traitors to their people, and perhaps the belief that they will receive power or serenity before the end is brought about by its master.
Well, we were hoping to find a weakness in there, maybe. Something that we could use against him, but unfortunately, it seems like it is just that.
Yes, and I fear that the fleet, the force, the military power that you saw around Entropis, it unfortunately confirms a fear that I have long held, that we have been fighting portions of Hadar's strength. Hadar has never fully sent its full power out into the universe because it did not need to. It knew it was winning slowly but surely. It just had to be patient. I fear that now it has sensed Siaska's awakening, its patience will run out.
From the vision, all the millions of ships that I saw, are they all just small, like storm chaser ships?
Some are small. Some are like, some aren't even ships. Some of them are like weird creatures. Not BIM, but they're like bio ships, like bio vessels. Like they look like giant creatures that have been turned into living weapons, or like, they're just writhing masses of tentacles and eyes and mouths.
Like the thing at the end of Sonic Adventure 2.
I don't know what that is, but maybe.
Prototype.
But they all range in size. Like some of them were small, some of them were smaller than the Storm Chaser. Like they would have been very small, like creatures, kind of maybe like a dragon-sized thing, like a huge or gargantuan creature.
Okay.
But
any
some of them
big boys.
Yes.
Okay.
There was one in particular, Quill, you would have seen.
Oh no.
Enormous. I mean, bigger than the Astoria.
Ah.
Enormous.
Bigger than a city.
Yeah. It was
A mega city.
immense. Do you describe it to Callus? Like, do you describe it?
I think seeing all the ships, I'd like to try and pass on as many strategic.
Yeah, you kind of start going through it, and Callus seems to be aware of the Nautiloids, the Mind Flare ships. They're aware of those. Beholder ships that almost look like giant beholders themselves. These giant sort of like, giant floating eyeballs made of like rock. And,
yes.
Things like that.
I want one of those.
You describe, there are many Valkyrian ships, and Callus will confirm, yep, those are like missing fleets that he's sent to fight Hadar and have obviously become corrupted or betrayed them and stuff like that. Many of them are Zarkira's ships, the ones that you see as well. Some of them tend to be Zarkira's fleet.
Are they in a specific? Are they all grouped together? Zarkira ones
Spread out.
They're all just
Yeah, it seems to be.
random.
Yeah. And that's true for all of the ships. Like, they're all just kind of, there's no coherency to them. They're just all spread out.
It's
Like,
just
some of
chaos.
them are kind of almost like raider ships. They look cobbled together. Some of them are like almost like flying stone buildings. Like they look very bizarre and ancient. And then you describe this massive ship, which I would almost describe like, imagine an enormous, kind of slightly more technologically advanced and magically enchanted, like with runes and magical sigils, and almost like an enormous like longship, like a Viking's kind of like longship, but on a colossal scale, like a battle fleet carrier kind of thing. And when you describe it, Callus kind of, his eyes widen slightly, and he looks off the projection, kind of looks to the side. He speaks to somebody. It can't be. That is worrying news. That is a Fenrir class ship.
A Valkyrian ship.
No. It's from a world we lost millennia ago. Just when I was beginning my empire, when I did not still have the strength to fully stand against Hadar. He consumed the world of the giants. They had many ships amongst them. The Fenrir class was one of two of their largest. The Fenrir and the Jormungandr. They were immense ships. Sun Eaters.
Of course they were. Sun Eaters.
Capable of destroying stars.
Okay.
And okay, well,
What's our plan again?
so that one is fully under. What of the other one? Not the.
Believe it to be destroyed.
Okay.
Things keep getting better and better.
How big was Palador's ship in comparison to all of
Small.
these? Like,
It's a storm
Bounce.
chaser, like, right?
Yeah.
Bigger than the Storm Chase, but not not like this, nowhere near this big.
Yeah.
Are they slow ships?
Yes, they are slow but powerful. Normally used to. I mean, the giants, when they would wage war, I mean, they were a dominant power in the multiverse for a long time. It was only because of Hadar that they eventually were consumed. They were destroyed. They fought, and even they were also brought down. Slowly, over time, they were a powerful resistance against Hadar for a long period. They were one of the original races who fought against them, alongside Siaska and the Guardians. But, I mean, the Fenrir was... They would send it to destroy stars, which would wipe out planar systems. It is likely that Hadar may not be able to fully unleash its power and potential unless it still has living giants to pilot it and use it, but unlikely, knowing Hadar's nature. But it is still a massive threat, one that we won't be able to ignore. In terms of our plan, it doesn't change. I told you that when we set out on this is not a fight we can win through conventional means. We cannot defeat these fleets. We cannot defeat these ships. We must get what forces we can through, down to Entropis, make our way as quickly as possible to Terminus Keep, and take out Hadar themselves. That is the only way that we can hope to achieve victory.
Okay.
Even against something like the Fenrir, that will cause great problems. But now we know what to expect, we can prepare. We need to make sure that our fleets are spread out, that it cannot destroy too many of us at once. There will be deaths. We will lose many lives in this act. But that is what we must do. We'll position a number of fleets and ships above Entropis to provide as much support to buy us time that we need to get down to the surface, to bring your Guardians, to bring the Eterna, to bring my elite forces. We land, we take Terminus Keep, we take down Hadar.
Okay. I have intelligence on Terminus Keep as well. It's where Root Prime served as a guard.
Ah, that may be useful if you have memories that can help us with its layout.
It's full of moving corridors, according to Root Prime. It's been trapped heavily. It may be difficult to get through.
Well, good to know. Thank you, Sentry. I believe that once we land on Entropis, we may need to do various tasks and missions before we can secure Terminus Keep itself, but that will be our ultimate objective. I will dedicate most of my forces to establishing a forward base. We will take the area that we believe the breach point to be in and secure it before we bring Siaska and Valor in to open up the way. Then the two of them, myself, and you champions, we will step through and take on Terminus Keep itself.
Okay.
Good luck. We'll be reaching the end of the Infinite Corridor soon, so we will speak again shortly. Thank you, Kila Kedkala.
Thank you.
Vital Intelligence.
I think outside of this, I might ask for if Hadar is preserving and reanimating or whatever ancient civilizations, if there might be any like notable, not necessarily the individual ships that we might be up against, but like notable sort of creatures that might be that we might face ourselves.
Yeah.
If he knows of any.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, so one thing you would know is Hadar doesn't preserve these cultures. Like, Hadar is probably keeping these weapons around,
right,
but for the purpose of destroying and consuming more things in the future. The planet of the giants, most of the giant race are probably long gone. Hadar has clearly kept this ship because it sees it as being useful.
Yeah.
And that seems to be a common thing. Like, in everything you guys have seen and talking with Callus, Hadar seems to kind of break its own rule and lets things that it considers to be useful stick around to then consume and destroy more, but ultimately does promise to destroy everything at the end. Like, even these tools it will eventually destroy, but only once it has kind of taken out any threats that it perceives. Which implies that there is a fear, there is a kind of intelligence there of like, it is not so committed to its goal of entropy that it is not willing to break its own rule for survival and power and things like that.
A hoarder.
Yeah.
It kind of keeps things that, it just keeps things that is like, yeah, this is going to make me stronger.
Eat everything unless he finds a fork, which makes eating easier. And then when he's done with that, he eats the fork too.
Yeah, can destroy.
Perfect analogy.
Perfect analogy.
So that ship is just a spork to him.
Big spork.
Yeah.
Wow.
In terms of other creatures, I mean, you've had this kind of discussion, but yeah, beholders, mind flayers, giants, it seems like, maybe Valkyrian forces, which means that there will be angels and devils as well, as the Valkyrian army includes those, fey creatures, beasts, animals, but also, and you've seen this, Hadar has this kind of corrupting influence, and it changes and mutates things as well. So it might be that you fight amalgamations of those kinds of things together, sort of smushed together. Yeah. Undead seem to be connected to Hadar in some way as well, especially undead that consume and drink and absorb power or destroy things.
Vampires.
Yeah. Well, not vampires, because vampires drink, but they use life force to continue living. They are almost an antithesis to Hadar. They want to keep existing. Undead like Bodaks, which are all about just entropy and destroying, those are aligned with Hadar. Ghouls are aligned with Hadar because they just want to eat and consume.
What about energy vampires? They're the worst.
They're the worst, yeah. Colin.
Yeah. Colin Robinson.
Yeah. Yes, if energy vampires were a thing in D&D, they would probably be on the side of Hadar.
Sweet.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Any other questions or intelligence-related matters?
I think so.
You want Zarkira info?
Yeah, I guess.
Is
so
it worth
how
asking
many charges?
Starbane while we have him on the line?
Speaker.
I mean, I'll tell you now happily, he has no intelligence about Zarkira's whereabouts or anything like that. He can tell you what he thinks of her as like a person, as somebody who knew her and knows her, what he thinks quite well. But, I mean, he didn't see her betrayal coming, so...
So
He
it's
also
maybe
doesn't know
best
what-
to use a charge to find if we can find out any more information on Zarkira.
Yeah,
it
I mean,
might be useful.
I've got 2 more charges with
Yeah, we
like
could
another
use
7
it,
days.
like-
Because she's
said.
quite a big threat.
Use it as we're just leaving,
Yeah.
as we know we're
the
leaving into the
timing is-
Broken Veil, so she won't move.
Yeah. I mean, we can just jump to that now, though.
Yeah.
Because unless there's anything anybody else wants to do in these, like, short days. these
Can I
couple of-
work out so hard? I get strength 20. Okay.
You can get yourself, like, nice and prepped and make sure you're
Lucius
flexible.
will be
and
doing everything, like practicing spells,
just trying to keep himself sharp.
doing some reflection and some meditation, trancing a lot,
Okay.
reflecting on everything, just keeping calm, all that kind of stuff.
Sure. Roll 2 things for me. Roll Constitution, just D20 plus your con, and then roll a D20 plus Wisdom for me.
14.
14.
For con. And then for Wizzy, I don't think I'm super wise. I keep forgetting. 13. Oh, I'll roll again.
Yeah, please roll again.
16.
16. You don't overexert yourself. You kind of keep yourself in good physical condition. You feel flexible and agile. Not probably to give you any sort of benefit, but you also don't overexert yourself. Like you keep yourself well paced. But those moments of
Trapped in nerve.
the moments of reflection, the moments of preparing your mind. Out of maybe the whole team, Lucius, you're probably the one who's struggled the most with some of the themes of what Hadar has offered, and there have been times when you yourself have considered, is what Hadar is offering is better. And I think that these moments, and I'll leave this up to you, Chris Trott, to decide how Lucius reflects on it, but there is a strength that you gain. There is a sort of focused will that you gain from these quiet moments. And I will say that I will give you advantage, or like inspiration basically, on the first kind of wisdom-based check you have to make in Threat of Hadar.
Oh, I'll take that.
Sure.
But yeah, the way
Mine's
Lucius
a bit of RP.
The way Lucius arrives at that is thinking back on those moments facing Hadar, like with Sentry, when we were literally there, and the more recent interaction on the back of the Titan. But then what pierces through that are the words of wisdom from his friends, of why it's worth it, from Sky Prince Aradan, having purpose, having drive, motivation, Siaska returning, and that kind of envelops the bad. The light shines through the darkness.
Maybe sort of like almost while you're doing this, you can see the mask of Moonstar as well.
Yeah. And he puts that in front of him as he meditates on it.
I like that. Nice. Very nice. So, Quill, question or anything else from anyone?
No, I mean,
I'm going to say that I am going to basically have us jump to the very end of this journey. So
Yeah,
we're going to be jumping out. So once you hit the Broken Veil, who knows what's going to happen. So
Yeah, I think Nova's going to spend her time just working on the engines. There's always things to do, right?
Yeah.
Always calibrations to make.
Yep. Busy calibrating. Get down in the gun deck like Garrus.
And just making them kind of tip-top and ready for bad stuff.
In fact, I'll actually put you, if you're in your pod.
Aww.
That is, you're technically in the lower deck, but I'm going to put you in like.
Technically, if we keep RPing, right,
This will never end.
this doesn't have, it's the
True,
infinite step.
Oh no, I can just interrupt it and basically be like, "You're here now."
Meteor
Record
Swarm.
scratch.
also 2
You're here now.
days worth of episodes later, we actually reach the time in
We're
which
going
we
to do
would
a second by second, but
Yeah.
our 3-hour sessions is a second.
Okay.
So-
You do know this badge that we've released says 2023
I'm going to start
on
rolling
it.
d20s.
So, no, it says 2023 on it,
When
so
I
we
get a
have
certain
to
number.
finish this by this year.
We've got 6 months.
Anybody doing what people?
Oh, you're just rolling dice?
But yeah, working on the engines, sending
Okay.
messages to Thalia,
Sure.
getting ready, warning everyone that we're probably going to be, from what Quill is saying about the corruption and all that on Antropos, the minute we step foot on Antropos, we are probably going to get corrupted, or
Some effect.
that attempt.
Yeah.
Oh, but remember, Just stick by me, stay by the beacon of hope. That will give you strength and wisdom.
As Nova is
tactics?
working on the engines.
Sentry had
you-
something.
That's fine, yeah. I'm joking.
It's all good.
I was literally doing rolls, and I was like, when I get a 20, I'm gonna step in. So yeah, go on, Sentry. You're saying you want to.
I just might have Sentry just go around with the crew, make sure they're all rested, see how just to get a gauge of how they're feeling, try and boost some confidence if they're feeling a little bit like. Unsure.
Roll a persuasion check for me. No, just charisma, just D20 plus charisma, because I just did stats for Lucius, so I'll just do raw stats for these kind of things.
Alrighty.
I'll give you a rough overview.
A morale officer.
7.
7. There's two things. The wolf pack, the general crew, you kind of you realize you don't need to worry about them. They're not the sharpest tools in the shed, and so they're just sort of they're kind of aware of what's going on, and you do get the sense that they understand how important this is. But the scope of everything is just a bit bigger than they can really handle. They're like, I've got orders to follow. That's what I'm going to do, and so they're pretty happy. They've got food, they've got drink. They're enjoying what they can while they can, and they're pretty happy. Kamara's kind of keeping an eye on them, but you can definitely see that she's a bit smarter, she's a bit wiser, and she's worried about her family, basically. You also notice that Howard and Lancian, they are like not ready for this. Like they are way in out of their depth. Penny and Aerois, totally fine. Like those two are like pretty seasoned. Like Penny is, you've not really spent a lot of time talking to Penny like in general as one of the NPCs on the ship, but you kind of understand very quickly that she has probably led a very tough life, and this is more than she could ever sort of want. Like she's happy to be doing something epic. So she's like totally fine with it. And Aerois is just like, this is the greatest adventure Aerois could probably hope for, right? You know Aerois better than I do. She's probably happy as a Larry, yeah. But you definitely get the sense that Howard and Lancian and Kamara are definitely starting to feel a bit worried. And you try and kind of encourage them and give them those words of support and offering. But I think coming from this big, armored, powerful figure, you don't know if you've kind of gotten across the message that you would as much as you would like to with the roll of a 7, unfortunately.
They're not level 20 either, so
They're not level 20 mega warriors, so they're a bit sort
With
of like
divine
"Oh,
skills
I don't think we're
or-
gonna make it, buddy. Like
Yeah.
I
you
got a
know.
frying pan.
Yeah. So they're a little bit shaken, but unfortunately not much can be done.
I think Ayla will just be checking. She'll be taking it upon herself to check in all the weapons are up to scratch and everything's organized and ready for the fight and stuff like that. So
Okay.
she'll occupy her time doing that. Probably.
Alrighty. Nice.
I think
Maybe throw in some more stuff
At the wolf pack.
the
Sure they're
wolf pack
ready.
to make sure.
Got
Oh,
2
yeah,
days.
They're ready. They're ready.
Stay on your toes.
Yeah, and the weapons are all in good condition. Like I said, when it comes to it, if the ship does get into a combat, you basically you as a team can decide where people go. You know, if you don't give them orders, they will go to where they're used to going to, what they're most comfortable with. So,
Yeah.
all right.
I think my only thing, I kind of wanted to speak to Sentry about the
Sure.
root prime thing being on
ahead.
Troppers, because that's
Yeah, that's actually a good.
Yeah,
Somewhat.
Yeah, by all means.
Yeah, you mentioned to Starbane, by the way, on the chat we just had about Root Prime. He's served on Entropis.
yes.
Have you been communing with him then recently?
I came in before we left
Okay.
to get intelligence.
Is that written down? Was that shared? I can't remember.
Ree did not specifically say
Oh, okay.
she shared it, so I didn't write anything down.
Good, so I'm not being dumb here. Okay, so what, like, as in that was a Guardian city before, or there were Guardians there?
No, it was during the first time they encountered Hadar.
And he was the first to encounter. Okay. But do you have some kind of, like when you were pulled to the Prime before, do you have anything that's kind of pulling you towards Entropis then?
No. See, my connection with Entropis, I don't have a connection with Entropis outside of Root Prime, so it would be Root's connection, I suppose.
Okay.
And I mean, just to refresh, because I don't know how much you wrote down, Rhiannon, like, yeah, Root served on in Terminus Keep before Hadar became a problem. Like, remember, Root is like, you know, Root was there before. They fought in the first war against Hadar, but Entropis existed before Hadar. Entropis was a dead world before any of this even happened. That was where they trapped Hadar on it. But before they used Entropis as a place to kind of trap Hadar, it was it rests on the very edge of the astral void, and it looks out into the astral void. And they built Terminus Keep as a watchtower originally physically there to watch over the astral void. And then when Hadar became Hadar and consumed the other gods, they used Terminus Keep to basically trap him and then put Terminus Keep into the Far Realm, basically. So it's, yeah, he was actually there before it was even touched by Hadar, is where he was, just as for the details.
Okay.
Did I tell you that?
Thank you. So are you able to still communicate with Root when we are in there to be able to navigate us through there? Or have you seen it already?
I don't know how to get through it, but I know that it's just a massive moving corridors, and it's not a good place.
It sounds like even if you did know a way, it might just change suddenly.
Well, maybe.
And again, the moving corridors, I think they're Hadar's doing. I don't think that was the Guardians that made that.
Yes.
So we may need some way of tracking through the corridors.
Well, that's what I was wondering. If maybe with Root's influence there might be some help there, but I can use the Wayfinder's Guide when we're there, maybe. Possibly, if it works in there.
They could also be cultists, Hadar cultists, weapons, anything in there.
Okay, so not to take a wrong turn in a place that is constantly shifting and going the wrong way.
And trapped.
That sound good? Sounds awful.
Sure.
As Starbane said, we can't get through this by normal means, right?
Okay.
Whether that's getting to Entropis or getting through Terminus Keep, there's bound to be some way of getting through it that we can't just brute force our way through, right?
No. Okay.
We
So
can't predict anything by the sounds of it.
No.
The prep that we can do as much prep as we can in terms of what we might be facing, like Sarkira, like finding out about all of those ships. That's good prep, but when we get there, it's kind of whatever Hadar says goes.
yeah. Okay. Well, either way, when we get there, I'm gonna be right next to you, Sentry, as always. Maybe behind, probably behind, but
Slightly to the left. and
slightly behind the shield arm, as I always have been, and always will be. So look forward to that. Don't let me get eaten.
Oh,
Is that okay? I don't want to get eaten.
behind. I don't think any of us wants to get eaten.
No,
No,
can we
but-
just make that a general thing? Don't let anyone get eaten. How about that?
Yeah, nobody gets eaten, please. Kamara kind of calls that from
I thought that was the guy.
That was the guy, the wolf.
Yeah.
The wolf.
He's round the corner going one person.
He's always there.
Just picking his teeth.
He doesn't speak. Just looks at Quill and licks his lips.
I just thought,
Yeah.
my ring of story. Could you put Beacon of Hope into it?
Yes, it's a spell of the third circle. Third level spell. I don't know. And I think with this ring of storing, I think you can do up to 5 spell slots. I
5
think,
levels, so you
5
could do
levels
a
of spells,
level
so you can
3
do
and
a
a
3 and
level
level
2.
2.
Yeah. So yeah, I could put
that's cool.
bacon in there, and then you can
What level mass cure wounds did you put in here?
5th. That's only on 5th. So
Up to a maximum of 5.
I could put Beacon of Hope on there for if I ever lose it.
Or I provide another area for it.
It's with Beacon of Hope. It's once it's cast,
It doesn't matter.
everyone that's in the area, even if they leave it, have that effect. on
It
them.
triggers, like when you cast a spell,
Gotcha.
it hits anybody around in that area.
It's
But it
not
would
like
mean
it-
that Lucius could concentrate it and you wouldn't have to concentrate.
Yeah, that's true. Unless there's other things that Lucius. would
Also, the other
concentrate
thing I
on.
will say is like you can put something like Greater Restoration in it, spend the components now, and then when it's used, it has the components paid for as when you cast the spells.
Yeah, that's true actually, because even when we were against just the seed and it took over the mines, did Restoration
yes.
actually work for that?
You did.
It did.
It did.
Greater restoration. It did work on that, didn't it?
Even like with like Hadar creatures, it might not cure them, but it might give you an advantage in some way, or it might give you like buy you some time, or like confuse it. You know, if it has like this brief moment of sanity, it might be stunned for a round or something like that. But it's also greater restoration is very good for like if you guys get afflicted with things like that and stuff as well. Lesser restoration
might be
as
more
well.
worthwhile, Quill.
I think lesser restoration is 2, and it like cures like blindness and disease and stuff like that.
So you could have bacon and restoration.
Lesser, yeah, lesser doesn't do as much stuff, but
Something.
If I put the spell into the ring, does Lucius casting it trigger Spellbreaker?
no,
Because then he's casting it technically.
no, he's casting
as me.
Yeah, it's. I would say it's when you cast the spell,
That is- yeah,
the
that is
target
specific.
does it, and you're casting the spell but putting it in the ring. So I would say no.
Okay. Yeah, I could rotate that round and make it. Was it lesser restoration?
Well, they have different effects. Greater restoration covers more things. Like it can remove things like madness. It can do temporary debility damage. It gets rid of all levels of exhaustion. Lesser restoration is like blindness,
Blind, deaf,
disease,
and paralyzed,
paralyzed,
poisoned.
lots of stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it isn't
More
as good,
combat
but like
focused.
yeah.
Okay. Paralyzed.
Your choice.
Happens. What's in there now?
Mass cure wounds at level 5.
Oh yeah, I just put it in there, didn't I? Okay.
Also, it's a double ring. I don't know if you've seen the picture.
I've got
like
the
a
same one.
Brass
I've got
knuckle.
the same one. It's really cool. It's also flat on the end. So
Pepsis!
if we like bump it, it fits together. What's this? They're combining into a magical artifact.
Wait, we are one now.
We're attached by Brofist.
Have I broke it?
Oh no, no.
Eternally
Take the ring
bro-fisting.
Oh yes.
Take the ring off.
No, we are
No,
entwined.
we can't.
They're permanent.
We're entangled for
They
life.
can't possibly open their hand.
Yeah, just take it off. Yeah,
Anyway,
This is us now, forever.
just cut your hand off.
So either you give me a lesser restoration and a level 3,
I think.
or you give me the greater.
Because with bacon, if I'm holding bacon, and you do mass cure wounds, then everyone will get healed for max, which is pretty strong.
Yeah, that's true.
So
You've also got 2 concentration slots.
yeah,
So
you can concentrate on some pretty nasty boys, right?
you guys have a think about that in the break,
Sure.
and I'll let you retroactively do that. Is there anything you want to do? Because before we go on break, I want to do a thing.
you want to
Just assume that if we're going to store a spell, it's going to be before we arrive.
Yeah.
Of course,
Broken
yeah, of course.
Veil.
That's fine.
That's-
Yeah,
We can figure it out.
absolutely.
No,
Are you going to ask a question about Zakira as well? Because that's another big thing. If you're going to do that, then I need to know that now.
yeah, I'm sure. I will ask what powers has Zakira gained from Hadar?
Okay. Your vision turns white
You
and
wanted
cloudy.
this. I don't like that you wanted this.
Yeah, he really did.
Your vision turns cloudy, with great clarity as it always has. Your vision returns to Entropis. You see, standing on like a cliff precipice, looking out over this broken ruin of a city, you see a woman, a familiar woman. Long black hair, sort of silver ornaments and almost like blades woven into the hair itself. Red dress, tall black leather boots studded with armored plates. Sort of almost like golden wings of metal, sort of in an ornament on her back. And you see this figure turn and look directly at you. And her eyes are no longer the humanoid eyes they once were. They are more like a serpent's. I've been waiting. I knew you would use your little gift on me one day, Kilek Adkolar. And I've been waiting. You cannot move. You are frozen still, unable to turn away. What did you ask, I wonder? Was it what powers I might have gained from Hadar? Was it where will Zakira be on Entropis? And she walks up to you and you feel something grab your face, like as she reaches out with her hand. Well, this time there are no answers, and there never will be. And she jabs her clawed hand into your eye. The rest of you see Quill's storm eye turn black, and blood begins to pour down Quill's face, and Quill is paralyzed there. What do you guys do?
Snap him out of it. Someone shake him out of it.
I'll just start shaking him.
Shake him. Doesn't seem to have any effect.
Did we put Greater Restoration into my thing?
Lesser.
It was lesser, was it?
Yeah.
I'm going to try it on him.
You try the lesser restoration. Quill, you're no longer paralyzed, but you feel this immense pain as Quill's eye begins to turn black and shrivel away.
Your eye, Quill!
I'm still in this vision, right?
You are seeing, like, you feel like her pulling your eye out, just like...
Heal him. I've got potions. I'll put a potion in his beak.
Sure, I mean, I'm going to say, Quill, take 40 points of necrotic damage for me.
Am I still paralyzed in the vision?
No, you're not paralyzed in the vision, so you feel like there is a presence to you, but it's almost like an astral self, like a no physical presence.
Okay.
What do you guys do?
Can I try?
So you're going to start pouring a potion down Quill's throat, Ayla.
Can I try protection from evil and good?
Sure. So you watch. So Sentry, what does that look like when you cast that?
She puts her hand on Quill's face and just tries to like cast golden energy
From the Matrix
in through her hand into your face.
The last thing you see Quill is, and you feel like as she pulls out, Quill's eye is gone.
Yeah.
Like it is dissolved, being disintegrated. And now her clawed hand is like reaching into your eye socket, trying to get to your brain, but it hits like a barrier as you watch this golden like shield like form over like and push her hand out. No, that wretched god! And then the vision ends. As you, I believe you prevent possession.
Yeah.
Yep. The protection from good and evil shuts Zarkira out.
Oh, good frickin' play there. Holy guacamole.
However, Quill, I'm afraid to say that your Eye of the Storm is gone. She has been anticipating this for a very long time.
God damn!
Set up a very specific magical trap.
It's a good thing we didn't ask that first.
Well, yeah.
Still pretty bad.
I still had a charge left.
God damn.
Holy shit.
What a bitch.
Oh, she tried to get in your brain
Again?
with her hand.
It's the second time she's tried to do that.
She really wants to.
The first time round, she joined Hadar. What was she done?
If I am correct, you guys wanted to ask that just before you arrived in the Broken Veil. A call comes through the messaging system as you're all dealing with this. Aerois is like, yes, Storm Chaser, and it's, we're pulling out of the Broken Veil now, exiting the Infinite Stair. Oh God, there's, and then it goes dead as the Infinite Staircase, it breaks away as the Storm Chaser erupts into an active war zone. You watch as Valkyrian ships and the dragon ships are flying past you, being chased by corrupted Valkyrian ships. You see a Nautiloid, one of these Mind Flayer ships, like a giant almost mollusk with black-red tentacles trying to reach out, and it is like shrieking over you. You can see a flaming planet down below you as there is just this active galactic astral battle happening around you. Aerois is just like, hold on! As the Storm Chaser ducks and weaves as a flaming Valkyrian ship that's just been descended upon by these aberrated monsters of just eyes and mouths just swarming all over it, goes shrieking past you. You can almost hear the crew like, "Ah!" And Aerois has to like steer the Storm Chaser as it ducks down. And that's where we're going to take a break.
Oh my God.
See you in 5 minutes.
See you in 5 minutes.
See you in part 2.
See you in part 2. Welcome to part 2 of Aerois. You join us as our heroes, our champions, have travelled into astral space on their way to the Broken Veil, a war front where the forces of Valkyrian are fighting against the forces of Hadar as they try and push through to the planet Entropis. The champions have used Quill's Eye of the Storm to gather some intelligence about why Hadar has not destroyed Entropis, learning a lot of information about the defenses and fleets and the very reason that this planet is important to the Red Star. However, Quill has also attempted to use the Eye of the Storm to gain information about Zarkira, and in doing so has triggered a magical trap, an enchantment or some sort of power that has been placed using powerful magic, anticipating Quill's actions, and in doing so, triggered some sort of visage or version of Zarkira that destroyed the Eye of the Storm and attempted to do something to Quill's mind. However, thanks to quick thinking by Sentry, this was prevented. As it happened, however, just before the party arrived at the Broken Veil, the Storm Chaser, and indeed their allies and the fleet with them, are pulled out of the Infinite Staircase.
Oh no!
Malfunction!
I just had something in my throat and I took a breath.
I heard it.
I took a breath and it just went. Which was a shame because I was doing really well. It was really
You were
quick.
doing great till you hacked up a lung.
I know.
It was Zarkira. That was Zarkira
It was.
reaching out. Yeah.
As the Storm Chaser erupts into an active battle zone, a colossal astral space battle between different ships and creatures and beings above a plane, a planetoid. And that is where we jump back in. Quill, you have taken 40. Did you take your 40 necrotic?
I have taken 40, but I did have a
Let me heal you!
heal me.
You okay there, bud?
Just
Please get out.
He's gone.
I'm gonna have a drink while we do this.
Nothing gets him but you in pain.
I
He has
I-
9 hit points back from my
healed
measly
for 9 HP.
That's what it sounded like when you.
Yeah.
So,
Surprised you watched
everyone,
everything.
we are going to roll initiative.
Roll.
Roll it.
Oh.
I mean,
1.
Oh
For fuck's sake! Timothy!
A whole month off,
is there
and I
any,
rolled a
She's
1.
back!
fresh from a vision, is there any tweak to mine or just...
Fucking kill me.
I
I'm gonna
rolled
say
two
you've taken the
numbers.
damage. You've lost a very powerful item. I didn't give you a saving throw because I'm a horrible dungeon master.
I mean, it don't, no, I
No,
don't.
I'm horrible and mean. I'm
I
not
mean,
going
I
to
do
give you
think
any
you're-
more. I'm not going to give you any more penalties. I think
Okay.
that you have suffered enough.
I rolled 2 13s
For 5
my
years.
initiative, and I'm
Yeah.
choosing to think that's lucky. But with my bonus, it's 18.
Natural 20.
Prime!
It's the prime
That was the
dice.
prime dice.
It was the prime dice.
Oh, God, I fucking
It's just
love
ready
this
to
dice.
go all the time.
But you can't. You've got to use it sparingly. That's why it has that power.
Has anyone ever married a dice?
I'm sure someone somewhere. They've married bridges
This
and
is
shit,
going
man.
inside
Somebody's
me.
married a dice.
And pillows
What?
and cardboard cutouts.
I'm just going to move on.
He said it was going inside him.
We didn't.
Need repeating.
It did though. It did.
Saying.
It did need repeating.
There's a TikTok.
I'm
Right.
married
Anyway,
twice.
Lucius initiative
6.
6. Keelek and Kalar total
23.
23.
Oh, I don't like going first, actually.
Ayla
18.
18. Sentry.
24.
You're not going first. Don't worry about it.
Woo!
What'd you roll?
No.
19, and I got a +5.
Shit, okay.
Nova.
4.
That's a 4.
Yeah.
I would also, because Rhiannon is here, and Aerois was previously your character, I would like you. Well, you're going to roll for the ship's initiative. Raya is currently the pilot, so if you could roll a d20 and add 4.
Oh, I'll roll Piri's initiative too then.
He did.
11.
11.
Retire it. Take that one
I
away.
did just roll 2 nat 20s in a row. Wasted it now though.
They're gone.
Okay, just give me a second
Do you want
here.
some different dice?
No, I'll just curse them.
Checks
How many
out,
dice do you
natural
actually
20.
have left? You can't have many left, the amount you've exiled.
This one's primed for a nat 20.
I think you've got 2.
Yeah, I don't think the dice are the problem.
Really?
I think the problem is me.
You want to try?
Reed said it was primed for a nat 20 and rolled a 1.
Sick.
Primed.
But this one's primed for a nat 1.
Right.
Okay.
One of the ones you gave me for my 30th birthday?
So,
Try them.
I'll let you pass those over. So, as a reminder,
They're pretty.
currently you are aboard the ship. I have got the ship stats and things like that. You guys tell me what you want to do. I will then inform you of like the various options and stuff available to you.
Okay.
Those of you who have certain roles, the captain, the pilot, which will be Aerois in Aerois' case, the navigator and the engineer, there are some special actions you can take. I will tell you on your turn what those are.
Okay.
The weapons have their own attack rolls and stuff like that. You will just roll it and then add the specific modifiers and things like that. And we'll go through that as we begin. To set the scene, you have literally jumped out of the infinite staircase and you have arrived into a chaotic battlefield. Immediately, looking around, all of you see the Astoria is defending itself from multiple of these Hadar corrupted ships. You can see that in the distance above this plane, which I think you would know, it would have been communicated, is the plane called Arcadia. And above Arcadia, you can see a massive Valkyrian fleet, massive fleet, that is also currently being attacked. And it is being attacked by a large force of these Hadar-controlled vessels. You have dropped out a little distance away from that fleet, but immediately become under attack by the sort of outer edges of this force as well. The Tassadar, the Valkyrian ships, the Dragon ships, everybody is currently engaged in their own targets. That is going on around you guys. I am going to make rolls to see how well they're getting on, but that is going to be done at the end of each round. For now, you guys have an immediate problem, however. 3 enemy vessels. What appear to be 2 Valkyrian light cruisers that have been corrupted. And you can see the red magic. They don't have the purple crystalline glow. There is a deep red glow. And you can see that the ship itself has been modified. It's more jagged. There have been pieces of scrap metal and crystalline bolted onto it to give it a more vicious looking appearance. There is also one of these enormous living creatures that's almost like a bio ship. And you can see that all sorts of horrible Hadar abominations are like clung to the sides or like emerging from various like orifices and horrible parts of these bio ships. The bio ship and one of these light cruisers is at medium range. One of the light cruisers is at long range, but they are beelining towards you and they are going to engage you immediately.
Are they in front of us?
They are. All 3 of them are currently in your front arc. Yes.
Okay.
They will be able to move into your. They are currently when a ship gets into close range, they can move into your side arcs and stuff like that as well. Sure. Or they can try and outmaneuver you on their turn. But we'll get to that as pilots reach their turns and stuff. Sentry, you are first up in the initiative order. The crew stands ready. You do have the crew can make attacks, like when ships are close by and stuff like that as well. But you have to order, if you want specific NPCs to do specific things, you have to tell them what to do.
Okay.
Or you can do stuff yourself.
Okay. Can I just help sort of like command the crew and get them ready to hold their actions for when the ships come within close range?
Absolutely. So you can basically you could basically give an order to the Wolfpack themselves. They are able to make an attack to the side arcs of your ships.
Okay.
So basically if you were like alongside, they can take their weapons and fire to one side or whatever it is to do that. So if you'd like to, you can order them a command and say, as soon as they are within the side arcs and within range, open fire.
Yeah.
Okay. And you would like to do that?
Yes, please.
All right. Would you give me a persuasion roll? This is like you basically how leadership you can be, how much leadership you can show to see if they get any additional bonus.
17.
17. I will say that in a 17, they don't get a penalty, but they don't get any bonus either. It need to be DC 20 or higher. You would basically give them advantage because they'd be inspired to attack because of your kind of commanding aura. But with this, they're just like, aye, yes, sentry! And you see them like beginning to bring their weapons to bear. They're currently on both sides waiting to see which side of the ship they're going to move to, and then they're going to run and attack when they get a chance to.
Cool.
We'll have you make that attack if they get that chance
Nice.
to. All right? Would you also, we can now show this, the map, Sam. We have the deck of the Storm Chaser here.
Oh, yeah.
The black of
Long
astral
time.
space below. I couldn't get a cool map to go underneath it, but we've got the black void of astral space. I currently have you and Ayla at the front sentry, just based on things, but it would probably make sense that you would actually all be around Quill because that was the last thing that happened.
Yes.
So I'm going to have everybody move back.
So we're all by the command
Yes, everybody. So we'll have everyone there. Nova, I'm going to assume Nova, you would be down in the engineering pod because that would be needed for part of the travel. So you are currently in this below decks, sealed in the engine pod.
But I see all.
You do see all. Yes, you are aware of everything, and you can exit that, but it means that you can't take engineering actions if you do. If you want to try and come up and physically help out with other things. All right. So Sentry, yeah, would you like to move down onto the main deck where the crew are?
Yeah, I'll go down next to where Clara is and just help her out.
You get to about here next to Lens.
Nice.
And you can shout out to the crew on the ship. Fantastic. Alrighty. Kilakad Kalar.
So, getting up onto the...
Kind of stumbling, your head still reeling from a pain, like a headache almost.
Yeah. I'll get onto the observation
System? Sure. So as a navigator, I will say that you have a special action called Scan Target, which you can perform to try and gain information. The more times you do it on the same target, you get better sort of information. So it's like a repeatable thing.
Okay.
It's an action to perform.
So is that almost like a lock-on type deal that would help?
It can evolve to that. So the first thing you have to do is kind of scan them, which gives you some information, and then you can choose whether you want to give advantage or bonuses to the weapons. You get to do a bunch of stuff.
What range was the abomination sort of vessel?
Medium range.
Medium range.
Yeah, I'm not going to put it into feet just yet, but basically things like spells and stuff, if it's more than sort of 300 feet, you can probably start attacking these ships at medium range.
Okay.
If it's less than 200 feet, you got to wait until it's basically next to you.
Yeah, I mean, I think if that one is covered with things that are threatening to jump onto the ship potentially, then I would like to scan that one.
Okay.
As a focus.
All right.
What
Give me. What do you think it takes?
Does it take history?
No.
Insight?
No.
Does it take my plus 18 perception?
It does.
Yes. That is a 31.
31. Using the sensors, the Magitech kind of objects and creations that have been built into the Storm Chaser, you begin to kind of analyze this ship. You can tell that although it is a living organism, it does seem to have some sort of ranged, almost like a bioplasma or acid that it can fire at long range, almost like a cannon. It can do that. And you can also tell that it is covered in creatures that would seem to have the ability to short-range teleport and basically board ships.
Sure.
Or actually no, it wouldn't. Not teleport. It would fire them onto the ship using propulsion. It would almost fire them out like it's
squid.
expelling them, like a squid. Yeah. It fires these other living organisms to board and attach to other enemy vessels.
Out of the many orifices.
Many orifices.
Orifices is the key word today.
Orify.
Word of the day.
I will say, the other thing you would learn is it has components. You can attack its weapons, these kind of acid spitters. You can also attack its general hull. You can also try and attack its kind of wings almost. They're kind of what is allowing it to fly through space. It has these almost membrane-like wings, many of them, dozens of them along each side.
Yeah.
It does not have any sort of shielding or magical protection. It is just a vessel of flesh.
Cool.
Flesh vessel.
Yeah. Well, I would be staying on this deck in order to sort of. Can I give
Looks like that.
Lookout the one on the front cannon?
No, Penny is currently in that area, but she's not on a weapon just yet. She's been waiting for she needs an order to do with that. Your action has been done though.
Sure,
Fraser.
that's fine.
So
Yeah.
unless you have a bonus action you'd like to move, that is going to be the end of your turn.
I will say my bonus action was getting my eye fucking ripped out, and then I'll leave it there. Okay.
Sure.
Oh, also, for anyone wondering, having my eye ripped out previously incurred a penalty to perception, but not this time.
Not this time. I feel you've kind of learned to do it, but also being 20th level, you can deal with it. It's close my eye, I'm fine.
I've got an arcane eye where my storm eye once
Probably
was.
a glow or something like that. Yeah. We'll come to that later.
Yeah.
That's a problem to do with later, but there's not going to be any penalties for now.
Yeah.
All right, Ayla, and then one of the ships is going to go.
I'm going to shout to Penny to get on the gun and fire at the squishy, fleshy ship.
The big main
The
gun?
big main gun.
Alrighty. In that case, would you, for me as Penny, please, roll a d20, and then you're going to add 5 to this. is slightly inaccurate, this ship. This cannon.
14.
14 is a near hit, but kind of Penny still not used to it. She's like, and she puts like one of her big cigars in her mouth and like, I think this thing's moving weird. And then you watch as the front cannon fires this continuous beam of magic energy, like a and it just scrapes through the air, just barely missing this thing as it kind of rolls to the side, and it just Penny's like, that moves weird, and like she's like trying to adjust the cannon and things like that. But yeah, that is a bonus if that's your order, but you can still take actions yourself as well.
So I'll probably move down to where Sentry is, which I think...
Yeah, you got 45 feet.
Yeah,
right?
45.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. It's just ahead of Sentry.
Can I just tell Howard and Lancian to get below deck? And...
You can.
Because they're not going to fight.
Okay.
Are they?
I don't know.
Howard, I'm going to say no, because he was what, like level 5, if that.
Had levels.
Oh right, I can't remember. Lancian. It's been a long time since we've.
I'll tell Howard to go below
Okay.
because he's not
Sure.
quite.
That would probably be like the rest of your actions this turn. I'd say like 2 NPCs is probably about as much as you can do in an action.
Could I bonus action rage?
Yeah, I'll say yeah. You can absolutely do that.
I will do
So
that.
you want Howard to go below decks?
Yes, please.
There he is.
He runs down.
He's gone. We saw him briefly.
Yes.
Actual Howard mini.
Yeah.
It's very cute.
Yeah,
He's got a ladle.
There are actual bespoke minis, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do
Actually,
we need to shout out? Yeah.
I do want to say a huge thank you to Lithil, a community member from our Discord, who came in mega clutch and printed all of these for me. I bought these as STLs, and then they printed all these and sent them to me, and I'm rapidly trying to paint them. This is not their final paint job. This is my very quick version. I will make them look better and nicer.
No, they look great.
So that's like a legit Aerois, Penny, Wolfpack. All of that.
Most of the Wolfpack are just normal D&D
Okay.
ones. Like Kamara, it's basically Kamara, Lancian, Penny, and Aerois for now. And then all of your other NPC friends you might get to see later on.
Is there a Thalia one?
Maybe.
I need to see it now.
So,
I want to see it now.
Ayla.
Alien.
Ayla.
I need my girlfriend.
You don't do that thing where you
Something
say
like
a word and it doesn't
It breaks
sound
you.
right.
That's because you said the wrong word.
Yeah, but then I started saying the right one and I was like, no, it's still wrong. Really weird. Anything else? Bonus section,
I've
raged.
done everything.
Right, done. The light cruiser, one of the Valkyrian light cruisers, the one at long range, is going to spend one of its actions to just move and pull itself into medium range. But it is
so they
not.
can go
it can't
one.
and it can't quite get around you. It's too far away. It is, however, going to use its second action to make a attack against the Storm Chaser.
Yeah.
The Storm Chaser's hull, by the way, has an AC, so you can note this down as we go, if you'd like to, because then it helps me. The hull has an AC of 17. Sorry, no, that's the helm. The hull has an AC of 15 and 300 hit points. It also has a damage threshold of 10 and a mishap threshold of 20. You also, and this is more relevant for Kim to know, you have magic shielding, thanks to your shielding system. You have 200 hit points of shields currently, temporary hit points basically, but they are divided. 50 at the front, 100 to the sides, and 50 at the back. One of the engineer's actions is to go, I'm going to take 20 from the back and put 20 temporary hit points at the front. And
Diverting power.
Yes, you can also replenish shields instead and try and gain some more back, but it's a bit more random. They are going to attack. The attack will just barely hit the hull of the Storm Chaser as these energy blasts from the Valkyrian's kind of front cannon, very similar to the turret that you have on the bottom, kind of fires forward, and this is going to be 3d10 damage. I will point out only certain weapons can affect other ships, like low-level spells probably won't do anything to a ship and stuff like that, but that will become relevant as we get to it. That's going to be 15, 18 points of damage, which is enough to go over your threshold, so your front shields lose 18 HP.
Down front, so it's 50 at the front, 100 at the sides,
50 at the back. Yep.
50.
So you currently have 32 shield points at the front ship, at the front of your ship. 'Cause they are in your front arc, you are in their front arc. So, and you can kind of hear like the reverberations of as it thuds into the front shielding.
Cool. Oh, that's how much is gone.
That is going to be their full action for now. The next ones I have to go is the bio vessel, I believe, because everyone else is a bit slower. The bio vessel is going to attempt, and this is where I need Aerois to do it. The bio vessel is going to attempt to draw close to you. So this is a contested roll. It's going to be Aerois rolling a d20 plus 7. Versus their pilot trying to outmaneuver. So Aerois is like trying to keep this thing away from them and trying to keep it distance, basically.
Okay, that's cool.
13 for Aerois.
13 for Aerois, unfortunately, is not enough. Almost as if, like, because this thing has dropped out of nowhere, Aerois, this is her first battle in astral space. She's trying to maneuver it around. Unfortunately, it is going to pull into your side arc and closes to close distance. Now, you did prepare the wolf pack to make an attack. So, the wolf pack now gets to make, and there are currently 6 of them on board, so you get to make 2 attacks with them.
Okay.
It's +4 to hit, so it's a d20 plus 4. And it's going into their hull.
One was a natural 1, one was an 8.
So
Wowie.
12.
I wonder if we should have separate.
the 12 will
dice.
still hit.
Okay.
It will go into the side arc. Actually, no, this doesn't have shields, so this is just its hull. And the damage is just 1d10 plus 4 for the wolf pack.
Cool. 1d10 plus 4. 10 is a 14.
14 points of damage. So even though the first rank, like the first 3, their arcs kind of maybe deflect against fleshy like parts of the ship, the next 3 kind of, thanks to like Quill, your scans, and then Sentry, you're kind of like leading them, they are able to target more vital points. And as the creature pulls up alongside, glancing along the side of the ship, they begin firing out as they do so. It does mean that these wolf pack are going to basically run over to one side.
So it's off to the port side.
Yes,
Left
whatever
is
that side
port.
is. I unfortunately don't have a giant gross mini to be the enemy ship.
Does that break
I can get one
the
in time.
damage threshold?
14 does on their ship, yes, on the bioship. The bioship doesn't seem to have many defenses like that. The Valkyrian ships look to be built very similar to the Storm Chaser.
Okay.
But the Hadar alien creature, it's almost just big mass of flesh. Like it's just gross. Probably looks quite tough, but easy to hit.
Naked.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, I just realised I asked the wrong question there. Well, so damage threshold, they have to take more than that to take that damage.
Take that damage, yes. Mishap threshold is if you
that's
take
the one.
more than a certain amount of damage, there is a chance it will trigger a mishap.
Yes, okay.
The other benefit of this being a living entity is there are no mishaps on the living entity. It is just like a sponge of hit points.
Okay.
As it does
Cool.
so. But because it draws in close, as its action, its move, that's one action, its second action, rather than firing its weapons, it is going to launch borders.
Right.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm very. How many minis have you got? Have you actually got
Oh no.
gross minis for these things? He does.
I hope
He
they're
does.
disgusting.
So, I will
sorry,
do this.
podcast
I'll do this in
listeners.
2 waves, actually. Yeah, I think that makes more sense.
Are you going to grab a fistful of things
Yeah.
again?
So,
Kalara all over again.
you watch as this ship kind of is pulling up closer, and it's still at a fair distance, maybe like 200-300 feet, sort of away from the edges of the ship. This just amorphous blob of mouths and tentacles and red flesh. It's like, and you watch as these globs of like covered in this gel-like substance fires out, and as it lands, it passes through your shielding. Unlike an energy weapon or anything like that, it passes through, and these creatures emerge.
How many? Oh, that is a big
Oh,
boy.
they're gross.
I love them.
Oh, that one's gross.
Oh, they're cool.
Oh, I like his arm.
Oh, okay.
Oh, they're cute.
So two large lads and 4 small lads.
They're like humanoid dragons, but red with spiny bone bits.
Oh, Penny is surrounded by
Messed up stuff.
Penny's got 2 of them up there with her.
2 of them are quite large creatures. 4 of them appear to be like humanoid size. One of the creatures looks like some hideous amalgamation of horse and beast, but with way too many teeth and mouths. And when it brings up its front legs, almost like rearing up to attack, you see that its actual torso, this elongated body, is a ginormous mouth with
course it is.
rows and rows of sharp teeth. And although it's quite thin, the middle of its chest inside this mouth is too dark. pitch black. Vanta black.
Oh, you can't say that. We don't want to get copyright
The
strike.
other
That's
one
true.
that you see, the other larger creature, appears to almost be a too muscular humanoid. Legs and arms, but it has like 7 arms on one side, each ending in like a huge barbed hook, and then one enormous armored-looking gorilla-like arm, all red flesh, covered in bones. This one seems to almost have humanoid remains embedded into its body. Like you see a skeleton and various skulls, kind of as its muscles ripple and flex, they almost poke out from within the creature itself. And then the humanoid
damn.
creatures look like gaunt humans, but warped. Their skin now red, their spines becoming like bony protrusions, and the main horrifying thing is their mouths. Their jaws are distended and far too big and wide and just filled with teeth. And they just chatter with a madness. As they scream and hiss.
Hungry.
Okay.
Kind of sexy.
Yeah.
Yeah. We then go to the Storm Chaser. So this is the ship itself.
Oh.
So this is Aerois can make a check with this.
Alright.
Aerois can can try evasive maneuvers. This will give you a +4 to AC, -2 to your own weapons, because as you're moving around, it's harder to aim. And creatures on the deck will have disadvantage on attack rolls and must make acrobatic checks to move normally for a turn. So it's like basically representing like Aerois doing spins and like trying to throw the ship around to try and
So it's the
dodge
same
as much
for the
as possible.
crew as
It'd be
well,
the same for everybody.
Yeah.
She can also set facing, which is you choose if you want to put a certain ship in a certain arc, or you can try and like move away from another ship and stuff as well as that.
Okay.
And you guys can choose as a team like what you want
cool.
Aerois to do. Like it
Okay.
doesn't have to just be Sentry.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
gonna have re-roll for Aerois.
What do we
Basically.
reckon?
I feel like the
So I'm like re-rolling for it.
I know.
Fine.
The aim for
Just call a natural 20.
Yeah.
the aim for the whole thing is to get through to the
19.
planet.
Oh, waste.
Sorry, what?
The aim for the whole thing is to get to Entropis and
Yeah, well,
That's-
that planet is not Entropis. Right now, you're trying to meet
Oh,
up
right.
with Valkyrian's fleet before
So
you
we
make
need
your way there. Like, this is like, you weren't expecting to have a fight here. Like, this is like, you've
So-
dropped in and like, Hadar's already launched an attack, basically.
Okay.
but we still need to move forward, right?
Or at least away from these
Yeah.
ships.
Where is Starbane? Where's the
Yeah,
Tassadar?
do we see the test?
Yeah, you see up above you, it's currently fighting, it's probably fighting like 9 of various other ships. Like, it's fighting like a mixture of, it's like 1 Nautiloid, a couple of Valkyrian corrupted ships. Like, your allies are all fighting for their
Yeah.
lives as well. Like, this is a battle.
This giant floating multiple butthole ship next to us,
Yeah.
has it excreted all of its matter?
No, absolutely
There's
not.
still more.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So we should try
Probably
and
take that
Put
one
some
out.
distance.
put some distance between us and that ship.
All right, in that case, it is a contested roll again. So Aerois is going to roll a pilot check +7, and I will do the same for the bio ship. This is to see if it can like stay on your tail, basically.
Thanks. 12 total.
12 total. I'm afraid Aerois is like rapidly tries to spin, but now having this thing on the side and 2 ships coming from the front, Aerois tries to weave behind the 2. It's going to spin round. There is no change.
Yeah.
It's going to stay close range side arc. So you're on each other's side arcs right now. That is going to be the ship's turn.
Okay.
We then go to. Oh my god, you guys really did roll bad initiative. So the other light cruiser, which is at long range, is just going to move, and then it's going to attempt to fire. However, it's going to miss as it's currently at long range. So you just hear this like as it fails to hit anything. Then we go to Lucius.
What can I do as captain? Can I...
So as captain, you have a special action called Bolster Crew. You can also just act like if you want to. You can fight these guys on your ship right now. But as a captain, you can Bolster Crew, which is you can grant advantage to another officer or crew check that as long as you are within 5 feet of them. So, for example, if you were within 5 feet of Penny, you could give her advantage on her next attack roll. If you are within 5 feet of Engineering, which is basically being down by the bottom of the staircases, you can give Nova advantage on her next check that she needs to make. You can give give Aerois an advantage on a piloting check, for example.
I think considering we've been boarded, Lucius is going to focus
It's
on
an action to do.
What the...
The special action, yeah. The special captain action. Bolster crew, it's called.
Cool. I will run up to this starboard staircase.
This one?
Look at that big boy.
Yes.
And then I'm going to toss cheeky little chromatic orb.
Okay.
At level 2, 3.
Okay. Chromatic orb at this, the big fella.
Yeah, and that's a 20.
The Death Mangler.
Really?
27 to hit.
27 will indeed hit the Death Mangler.
The
What type
seven-
of damage is it?
The
Acid.
7-armed, 8-armed.
Acid damage.
Sick. And that's 29 points of acid damagiones.
The chromatic orb splashes against the creature's bony, massive, muscular arm, and it does begin to melt away, and you can see it as it coats it, and it kind of turns up at you, its skin blistered and bubbling and boiled.
I finger gun dichromancy into its mouth
4
for 8 more
more
points.
points of damage.
Get off my ship.
Get off my plane.
No ticket.
Yeah.
I'm going to shout to
You mean you're not referencing Air Force One, another one of Harrison Ford's greatest films?
Harrison Ford is a treasure.
They're also not me. No, I'm not gonna do my Harrison Ford.
Because I'm at the bottom of the initiative, I can't really do my plan, which was to prepare for the next wave, and I was going to wall it to like bounce them off. But
You've used your action now.
Yeah, you could have held your action.
Well, no, that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's a new turn.
No, I mean you could cast it on your turn. I mean the wall of ice it stays permanently.
I wanted to like them to shoot themselves, and then I
Oh, I see.
and then
Stay
go.
bonds.
Yeah, you'd have to hold your action.
Yeah.
That would be quite funny.
Yeah.
Alas, I am not doing that. It's the end of my turn.
Okay. Nova Vija. You are currently in the engineer pod. Would you like to know what you can do as an engineer?
Yeah, give me my special stuff.
Yes. You have 2 options. Divert power. You can choose to give a bonus D4 to a specific task. So you have to say, like, to outrun the other ships, and that will give it to Aerois, for example. To Penny's next attack, you give an extra D4 to the task. Or you can replenish 1d10 plus your intelligence modifier of shield points to a specific section. You can also choose to subtract points, say, from one type of shields and put it into another one. So you can, I'd say you can do up to, let's say, 20 points at a time. You can also repair a system, so you can remotely attempt to repair a mishap from the engine room. This makes the DC higher, but does not require you to be physically present or to use any tools. So this is like you doing Magitech to like fix it, like beep boop beep boop beep boop.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like beep
Thank
boop.
you for those.
I mean, you understood though. I said you go beep boop beep boop beep, and you all knew what that meant.
Yeah. Like Geordie Ford does it from engineering. I don't know.
You can also leave the pod and come up and join your friends. I would say that entering and leaving the pod is probably going to be an action.
Action, yeah. So Penny, up on the
Main gun,
bow,
Perel cannon.
stern, it's the energy cannon. It's not the rotary cannon.
No, she's on the
the big boy.
front-facing big boy.
Where's the rotary cannon?
Underneath Penny, basically. It's in the. It's at the front of the ship, but it's on the bottom.
Right. Yeah, I was
It's like a
gonna,
little Millennium Falcon.
I was gonna in my head because I thought maybe she was on the rotary. I was like gonna ask her to turn the rotary on the monsters that were attacking her, but
No, sadly the rotary
she
cannon can't
yeah.
attack anything on the ship
Yeah,
itself. It can,
okay.
however, attack things like in any arc, so it can attack like the other ships.
Okay.
You also are able to communicate with anybody from engineering because you can
Yeah.
remotely communicate with people. So any like the crew, like Lancy and Howard, you can also be like, "Hey, do this."
So the bioship is quite close to us and still within boarding distance.
And the other ships are
So-
closing.
I was thinking that I would like to, I guess, divert power to engines and to like boost the engines so that we can put more distance between
Okay.
us and all the ships coming towards
All right.
us.
So Aerois will have a D4 in her next piloting check to try and outmaneuver. And I'd say that will count for any kind of attempt to outmaneuver a ship and for the next turn, basically, until
Does that
Nova's next turn.
include them getting in close to...
Yep, so it includes their actions and your own action as well. So
Okay.
it's basically like you're saying like engines to max, Aerois gun it, and she's like trying to like outdrive them basically. Cool.
And then bonus action, can I communicate to everyone, like basically do a shipwide hail and say, Penny needs help. Like, Penny is
Yeah,
surrounded.
you can see like
Yeah.
Penny's in the gun and she's like looking
Yeah.
over her shoulder, and she does have like she has a bow, like she has like this really Valkyrian tech bow, but she's put that down. She does have like a small Magitech pistol, and she's probably like
Yeah.
like leaning over from a shooting position. But yes, cool. Yeah, you absolutely can do that. Would you like to have Lancian move up? He is currently free to perform actions.
Which sweet boy is
Lancian
that?
is the one with
oh,
the blue flag.
pennant.
Yes, he's got the Clear Skies banner.
Aww. Would he get attacked by the Death Mauler?
Maybe.
though?
He does have a ranged weapon. He does have a pistol.
I'll ask him to try and shoot from where he is.
Yeah, okay. He will try and shoot from where he is. He does have a disadvantage. Can you roll this for me then, please? Nova. This is going to be a D20, disadvantage, +5.
Does he have a melee weapon?
He does, but if he's
No,
going to
it's
go help for the ones to
Oh, wait.
try and take out the ones fighting Penny.
10 is the lowest.
+5, 15 is just enough.
Woo.
It's a D6 +6 radiant damage.
D6 plus 6.
Cool.
2, 8.
8 points of damage. Alrighty.
Not bad, Lancian. Considering there's a death.
Yeah, so he's probably got like his sword in one hand. Actually, no, he doesn't have a sword. He actually uses his, he's like a partial sorcerer. So he has like a blade of light. He's like conjured like a light sword, and he's trying to fend off this thing. And then with the Valkyrian pistol, he's like taking a shot at the one fighting Penny. And it does clip it, and it kind of. I will tell you now, the little guys are following minion rules, but not my minion rules. I'm going to be using MCDM's new minion rules because they're better than mine. So I'm actually using those. Basically, you don't need to worry about it. The main difference is that they don't automatically fail saving throws.
Okay.
But they do have they don't have as many cool things. They're just a bit easier for me to run
Okay. Cool. Yeah. I mean, there's only 4 of them as well, so.
for now.
Yeah, for now.
Right, so that was Nova's
He's
go.
going to take it at 9.
And indeed, the little boys go.
Not the little boys.
They're going to go for the nearest thing, which is going to be Kamara.
No.
Trot, can you move those towards Penny for me, please?
With pleasure.
Two on
You see,
marking
as they get closer, you see like Kamara and Penny like holding their heads as these things just constantly emit like noise, like chittering and screams and like almost like singing, and they're like holding their heads, and their movements almost seem to get a bit slower and sluggish. But they're going to make a group attack against each. That is going to hit Kamara. And that's going to hit Penny, unfortunately. So this is going to be 8 points of damage to Kamara and 8 to Penny.
Okay. Cool. So they have standard damage as well.
They do, yeah. They more of them that are around somebody they take. They deal extra damage. So if you thin them out, it's good.
Yeah.
But they do make one attack basically for groups of them. But yeah, they basically are like swarming, and you can see like Penny's like trying to find them off from a position. Kamara's like butting one with a rifle and like kicking one, but they're getting like scratches and claws all over them basically.
Do we know? I don't know how gamey it is. How much health our crew has?
Nope.
Okay.
I will tell you when they are injured.
Yeah. Okay.
Sentry, top of the round.
Sentui.
Can I move 30 feet towards the front of the ship, please?
Yes, you can. You'd be moving through Ayla, which is fine. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Gets you about here.
Cool. And then if I do destructive wave, will that hit those guys?
What's the range on destructive
30
wave?
feet.
30 feet from you.
Yeah.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. No, it just catches them short.
All right.
But it would catch 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. It catches all of these
Those guys.
Catches everything else on the main deck. It just won't reach the ones fighting Penny.
All right. Okay, I'll do destructive wave then where I am now.
Does that hit every creature or just creatures you choose?
Creatures I choose.
Oh,
all the
very
red
good.
boys.
Very good.
Otherwise
What do I need to
Lance
do?
is
Con
going.
save, please.
Con.
Yeah.
Alrighty, let me...
17 to pass.
I've got so many things that I need to find. All right, con 17. The weird horse amalgamation does succeed. The Doom Strider. The Doom Strider
Cool.
does succeed. The two little guys are both going to fail.
Cool.
And then the Death Mangler. I just need to check what his con is. Ooh, high. Still fails, though.
Nice.
Oh.
All right, so 5d6 radiant and 5d6 thunder.
Oh.
What the hell is this spell?
Destructive waves. Big. It's 5th level. It's
Yeah.
high level paladin spell.
So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13,
Bonus action.
14 thunder damage.
Okay. They're not resistant to either of these types, so you can just roll it for it. So what was that 15?
14
14.
thunder, and then 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15.
What? Oh, you just-
21 radiant damage.
All right. I will do.
Sentry.
Comparing a 5th level paladin spell to.
And then the ones that succeed take half damage. And the ones that fail are knocked prone.
Okay, so the Doomstrider is the only one that succeeded. So that's going to take half damage, and you see it like it almost stretches its legs to like pull itself away from the destructive blast. It kind of extends itself and then shrinks back down. The 2 little guys around Kamara are annihilated.
Yeah.
They are
Nice.
just blown apart as the destructive wave emanates from your core and erupts it. The big guy, the Death Mangler, it strikes into him, and you can see it tears away chunks of flesh, red bodies and bone go flying, and it sends it into a flying range as it is now bloodied. It's under half health, and it's going to take an immediate reaction.
Oh.
It is going to move to get as many creatures as it can in range,
There's,
and it is going to make an attack against Lancian, Ayla, Kamara, and 1, 2, 3 of the Wolfpack.
Does it go out of range of Lancian?
No, it's hitting Lancian.
If it runs round the.
I mean, he'll get an attack opportunity. Yeah. Force movement, yeah, sometimes it doesn't, but in this case it does. He's recklessly just moving, and Lancian will get free try. I will do that afterwards, though.
Okay.
So this is going to be a fist attack against all of y'all. So against Lancian, that is going to be a 17, which hits him. Against Ayla, that is going to be 19, which I believe
22.
misses. So you just block it with a hammer. Against Kamara, that is going to be a miss. That's going to be a 10. And against, I'm just going to roll once for the Wolfpack. That is going to be a miss. It was a natural 1. So the Wolfpack, probably Ayla, you're like, get down! And they just jump.
Yes!
I raised the hammer to block my shot, and they went.
Their training, their instinctive training that you've been working on pays off as this thing swings, like trying to knock all 3 of them off the side, but they drop. Unfortunately, it does clip Lancian quite badly as it flies through. The rest of, however, it misses pretty badly because I rolled like dirt.
Keep that up.
Yeah, keep doing it.
Lancian is going to take 11 points of damage.
Okay.
So he kind of like, oh, and then he swings and stabs his light sword. As you were the one that brought it up, Quill, I'd like you to roll for me. Can you make a d20 plus 5?
D20
Roll
plus
well.
5. That is a 16.
16.
I might not
against
get enough actually.
The Death Mangler. Death Mangler is enough.
He's a big
D6
target.
plus 6.
D6 plus 6
Jesus Christ.
is a 9.
9 points of damage to the injured Death Mangler. Yeah, so he does strike it, delivering a pretty serious blow as it swings by. So he plunges the blade in and pulls it free. He's just, you can see Lancian like trembling, but he's there trying to fight on. All right, Sentry, end of turn.
Yeah, I'll stay where I am for now.
Alrighty, Keela Kadkalar.
So, is it worth making another lock on this flesh?
If you do, you grant advantage to any weapon attacks that the ship makes against it.
And the rotary turret on the bottom is probably going to fire at the.
Well, it is currently unmanned. Nobody has mounted
Yeah,
it.
I haven't been.
also-
And there is
Other
only
one.
there is only
Any.
one person on the ship who can currently man the rotary turret because you sent Howard below decks.
Where's Lookout?
Oh,
Lookout and Grey Lano are non-combatants.
Oh.
They don't fight. Lookout is literally like purely for spotting
A
things.
lookout.
Yeah, and Grey Lano is a medic. She can't fight.
I didn't think that Howard could.
Howard can. He fought alongside
He went
you.
on a journey.
Yeah,
A
No,
full
but he's
arc.
smooshy.
Yeah, he is smooshy, but he can fight.
he can hold a gun.
He's the only one who can currently get on that turret.
And Penny's on the other one who's.
And she
overwhelmed.
can still
Yeah.
fire, but it means she'll be vulnerable to
Yeah.
attack.
Yeah,
She'll take opportunity attacks if she fires the main cannon,
might be better go.
which she'll do. If you tell her to
I
fire,
mean,
she'll fire. She'll focus on
You can
trying to
still
take
tell
out the
Howard
ships.
to go and do it.
Yeah, you can. Absolutely can.
Okay. So I can fly. What was it? 50?
Yes.
I think. So
I will say you cannot fly outside of the ship.
yeah, that's
Because of
fine.
the atmospheric shield.
The
Well, you
bumble.
can, but
I
It would
I
just
wouldn't
be a bit
recommend it.
sad.
5, 6, 7, 8. Wait, what? 9, 10.
50 feet.
Yeah, so I can get
Yes.
right next to this mangler guy, Death Mangler.
The Death Mangler. The Doom Strider.
Do you want to go right next to the Death Mangler?
Well, I was gonna. I wanted to get up to the horse thing and use Thunderwave and launch it off the ship.
I was like,
But I don't think I can get close enough. So instead, I'm just going to do a Sacred Flame on.
So you're not going to lock on. That would be your action.
It's unmanned anyway, so like,
Okay.
no one can shoot at it.
Okay.
Oh, that doesn't count for the crew shots, does it?
What?
The locking onto it. It only counts for the ship's weaponry.
It only counts for the ship's weapons, yes.
I'll just Sacred Flame.
Okay,
The
Death
Mangler,
Mangler.
which
Alright.
is a dex save.
That is a 20.
22.
Very good. Thank you, Spear of Oracles.
Yeah, unless Akira takes that too, bitch.
She really is a thing about you.
She does. That
She got away.
is 9,
He got away.
13, 17, 23 damage
23 damage.
to the big
Oh.
8-armed boy.
You watch as the radiant energy, as you spread it across its body, tears chunks of it away. You are amazed that this thing is still standing because it is just like chunks of it are ripped all across the deck. It is bleeding heavily.
God damn it. I've also got like the vitality scanner on it and it clearly says 1 HP.
You do still have that, yeah. I'd say you can use that at any point. Like, if you have that, I'd say you absolutely. You could put that in your eye. You can just put the whole thing, and then you have the magic eye.
Like you'll be like the Predator.
With Azaria Perel technology.
The
Yeah.
little Azaria chibi. Isn't there a little chibi icon in it?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
When you activate it, like when he activates the interface,
Azaria OS.
Weapon to surpass metal gear.
it's like the little
You're at
hot
1
icons.
HP.
I will say I don't have any bonus actions I want to do, so I will just
any
call it.
crew?
Oh yeah,
Howard?
I'd say it's a bonus action. You can send Howard to the rotary
Well,
turret,
could
but he won't be
you-
able to fire it this time.
Could you get the wolf pack to fire on this guy?
yeah. Is it like a once per turn deal? The
Yes, they're basically like a once per turn thing, but they haven't fired this turn. It's a brand new round.
I still want them to.
They can
focus
attack.
on
Yeah, basically
the
they
ship.
can. You can choose what they attack,
Oh,
and there's
can-
currently 6 of them, so they can make 2 attacks.
Can Kamara
They
just?
could finish off
You
that
could. You
guy.
can. You can have Kamara attack.
With 1
Absolutely.
hit point.
Yeah, try and finish off this.
Would you like Kamara to do that, or do you want the Wolfpack to do that? I will say Kamara is better in combat.
Kamara, because I want the wolf pack to focus on the
Alright.
butthole ship.
Can you roll a d20 plus 7 for me? She's actually. She's a competent fighter.
Hell yeah, that's your dice, Kamara. That is a 15.
Is enough.
Which is enough.
D10 plus 6.
But 12.
12 points of damage. The creature, so stunned by your sort of blaze of flame, Kamara leaps up using her beast-like legs and plunges her sword into its back, wrestles it to the ground, and then just rips the sword free as she finishes this thing off.
Nice.
Holy crap.
Get out.
Let's go.
Come on, the rest of you, put your backs into it! And like, just kind of calls out to everyone.
She's in a blood rage now.
Yeah, she's definitely like feeling feisty.
I think it's the first time we've seen them like properly fighting as well, right?
Yeah.
Like, been training hard.
Hell yeah.
Anything else, Quill?
That is everything. I'll stay here.
In that case, we go to the ships. The light cruiser is going to attempt to move into range. It is going to attempt to get into your other side arc. So you're going to have to choose where you split your fires and stuff like that. I need a Riot to make a piloting check. D20 plus 7 plus a D4. Thanks to Nova the engineer.
Boop. 8 plus 7.
15.
15 is enough.
Yeah!
Okay.
You
Is that
just
plus
barely.
a D4 as well?
Yeah, plus the D4.
Yeah.
So Aerois kind of like looking at this and kind of centering herself for a minute. It's just like, okay, just like, and she kind of begins to like program in the controls, and she avoids the Valkyrian ship is trying to pull up, so it's kind of got you trapped between the bioship and itself. She maneuvers in a way that the kind of sensing that this bioship, this alien creature, isn't very intelligent, tries to like lure it and actually uses it to block the other ship. So it's now forced to remain in your front arc. It is still going to close to close range, but it doesn't quite manage to trap you and is still within range of your main gun.
Okay.
As it does so. That is going to be, that was its go. Sorry, there is a lot going on. Ayla, come to you next.
Can I
Yes.
run at the stupid horse thing? And can I use my action to push it off the ship?
You can certainly attempt to shove it, yes.
Like,
So that is
can I,
replaces
like-
one of your actions. Yep, so you make an attack roll, an unarmed strike. I'd say actually no, you can use your hammer to make the attack because you're trying to use your hammer to shove it, I'm guessing. So you would attack it, but instead of doing damage, you would then make a contested strength, and if you win, you push it 5 feet.
and that'll be off the ship.
It would be, because it's a large creature, it would be like, its front part would still be on it. You could then try and push it again to like really
Okay.
get it off. It will require 2 checks.
I mean, its arse would be in space though.
Yes, it would definitely
Its
take
arse
damage.
is in space.
Getting a bit chilly.
Yeah.
Chili but space.
So first thing first, an attack just to see if you can hit and like get enough leverage on this
20.
thing. Yep, that's going to be enough. This thing does seem more nimble. That nearly missed, but...
So is it a strength check?
And now it would be a strength check, and I'm going to use Dex to oppose it. Oh no, this thing's... Oh no, hang on, I've got the wrong creature. Yes, I'm going to use its... No, it's actually pretty strong. I'm going to use its strength to oppose it. So just D20 plus strength.
Yeah, but how strong?
You have advantage because you're raging. Oh, I rolled terribly, so it's absolutely...
I didn't roll very well either. But if my strength check is less than my strength, my check is actually 25.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, yeah.
So you just wedge this thing, and it kind of like tries to hook its arms around you. It tries to use its like body mouth to jump onto you, but it just gets a mouthful of the Howling Tempest as you're just shoving this thing out. As you push it halfway, it immediately will take 25 points of cold damage from being in
Hell yeah.
space.
Yeah, cold butt. No one likes the cold butt.
And you begin to see like frost accumulating on its back legs as it is pushed out of the shield. It's scrabbling to try and hook its legs down onto the hull. It might be able to, but yeah, you're not sure. Yep, and then you can try again.
Do it again?
This time you've already hit, so just make the strength check on this time.
Is that
I
still
choose to
advantage?
make it a 25 with my strength.
So is it like if you fail?
If my strength check is less than
then you're
my strength
yeah,
score,
so you
I
always,
can make it 25.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this thing is going.
What?
Indomitable might.
You have a minimum of 25. Holy
Minimum of
shit.
25. See ya!
You shove this thing out of the atmospheric shielding. Now, keep in mind, you've shoved it out of the atmospheric shielding. It is off the ship, but it just floats.
Yeah,
There is no gravity.
that's fine.
What's it going to do? How's it going to get back?
But it's being damaged while it's out there, though.
Oh yeah,
So-
it's taking damage. It can't take it more than once. It's going to take 25 damage, and then it'll take 25 damage on its turn.
It's doing a BIM.
Yeah, it's basically doing a bit.
Awesome.
Anything else? I mean, that's your full action.
No, I'm good.
Okay, nice.
Oh, actually, I'll use my remaining movement
Yes.
to, I don't know how far I moved, to move towards the guys that are at Penny. Yeah.
I think you've moved 25.
20, 25, 30. Yes.
So I'll move another 15
10, 50. You basically get to like.
on top of the stairs. Yeah. Okay, I'm done.
You felt
Well, it's actually the Doom Strider goes immediately after you. It takes another 25 damage from being out in space.
Cool.
It is, however, gonna. You see, it kind of extends its legs. I'm just gonna kind of like hook it on here because you can't see otherwise on the camera. It extends its legs out and it does hook them onto like the hull of the ship. And it is gonna basically pull itself in, and then it's gonna run along the side and it's gonna run away from Ayla.
So it's on the
Coward.
way.
Am I within? Can I hit it? Did it
I
move
would
out
say
of my
I would
range?
say you can make an attack of opportunity against it, yes, but this has to just be like a normal damaging attack.
That's a 19 plus 15.
Will hit.
Jesus. Pulverize it.
You basically smash one of its legs as it hooks on.
Like whack-a-mole.
17 points of damage.
17 points of damage. So you do whack it. It is going to scramble along the edge of the ship, flip back in, and then it goes up the stairs towards Lucius.
Oh.
It's taken a bunch of damage though.
It has, yeah.
Oh, I forgot to do my aura damage. Shit.
You
Blasted it on my turn.
Yeah, I mean you should have. Yeah. Oh well.
Damn it!
Oh well. Lucius.
you're about to get
The
chomped.
first thing it does is, as this thing gets into your face, its head opens and this black void seems to just fill its mouth. And you feel, Aerois, and Quill suddenly feel very strange. Make perception checks, both of you.
Perception.
I'm sorry, I couldn't kill the
Burgeoning.
weird horse. Go back.
Natural 20, 27.
27,
Fucking like 32.
32.
With a 14.
You realise, both of you, your chromatic gauntlet, it's not lighting up. Quill, any magic items you have that illuminate light.
My Eye of the Storm.
Aerois is like, Captain, the controls aren't responding as the crystalline control deck is not functioning. Shit. You are in an anti-magic field. As this thing looks towards you and it opens its mouth, suddenly there is no magic.
So it's in like a cone from.
I'm saying it is in a cone, basically
Interesting.
projecting around this entire back
Okay,
area. It
okay.
is then going to attempt to claw and bite you, Lucius.
Oh,
It's a natural 1 on the first one,
Yeah.
that doesn't hit.
26 on the
That
second.
hits.
That is going to be. Oh, it's all right. It's going to be 5 points of slashing, 6 points of psychic, so 11 points of damage total. And then it is going to. Oh no, it can't do that unless it has you incapacitated. You're bitten, so it just. But it shut down your magic.
All right. In retaliation, then, is it my go now?
It is. That is at initiative 15. The bio vessel goes.
Didn't I have a go?
You go after.
yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
go
go.
after the
You're
vessel.
quite late in initiative. You're initiative 6. The bio vessel goes, and
Is it
then
still round 2?
I got confused.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then the storm chaser goes. Then the other enemy ship goes. Then it's your turn.
Then the rest of the universe
This
goes.
goes. Yeah. There's a lot going on. There's a lot
Then I
going
go.
on.
At some point.
I need a riot to make a d20 roll as the bio vessel ship is going to attempt to maintain its facing.
Ooh, that's better. 16 plus 7, I assume.
Sorry, it would actually attempt to get into your rear. It's going to maintain its position. It attempts to get into your rear arc, but.
So 23 total.
25. So Aerois doesn't manage
I
to
drink
quite
this.
avoid, like, it is going to stay where in its current position, but she doesn't allow it to get into your weaker rear arc,
Nice.
basically. So she kind of keeps it on the side. But this creature, it is then going to. You've killed a lot of stuff. I want more stuff. It is going to fire its second payload of creatures.
So valid.
Big ones.
Yeah, it's going to fire this guy.
Another horseman.
Yeah, and then a big guy.
Another
Another main.
death mangler.
Fire Mangler up here.
Oh, it doesn't have to do that though. If it
And
had
4 more minions.
Little guys.
So 4 more
Tiny little babies.
on the main deck with a horse.
No babies.
Little babies.
Oh, little boy, please.
Oh, I hate them.
I'm going to call them Jen.
As that all slams down.
And a
But
magnet.
it does seem to, I will say,
Feed.
it does not appear to have any more sort of like these creatures or like these like propulsion vents.
Rectums.
Yeah, rectums.
Yeah.
Facing the ship on this side. So it doesn't look like it has any more reinforcements from this side.
All right.
The next ship to go is the Storm Chaser. So this is Aerois' chance to try and either maneuver around, get better positioning. She can also, Aerois is also able to fire the Perel missiles, a salvo of Perel missiles.
What do you reckon, team?
So the Perel missiles, what sort of like range damage?
They can fire up to anything long range. They automatically hit because they're like magic missiles.
Okay.
And they deal. You have 3 charges of them, and they do 10d4 plus 10 damage.
That's a lot of damage.
It's a lot. It can be fired by the captain, the navigator, or the pilot. It is an action, so it means that Aerois wouldn't be able to maneuver the ship.
Get rid of, or try and shoot one of the ships, I guess.
Yeah, one of the ships would be good.
One of the Valkyrian ones, because if we can get like a
There's 2 of those.
Vital
One still
part
at long.
there.
There's one still at like long range or medium range, and then one which is closed to you.
the only other option is maybe doing the evasion thing. Everyone would get disadvantage, but they would also get disadvantage.
Yeah.
So
And then you would also have plus AC against any more long range attacks. You need a call on it, team.
I think, I think hitting one of the Valkyrian ships and trying to stop that from being so nasty
Yeah, okay.
would be a good shot.
Yeah.
All right.
One of the magic
She's going to
missiles.
launch Perel missiles. All right, she will kind of be like, Perel missiles, and like slam a button. Can you roll 10d4 for me, please, Rhiannon?
Let's see if I have 10d4.
Should we say this is the one at the front or the rear?
Sorry, they're both in the front. One's at medium, one's at close, because it didn't manage to move around. Aerois managed to keep it at bay.
Should we get the close range one?
Yeah, sure. Nobody's disagreeing with you.
Would it hit the long range one?
Yeah, it can do. It's at medium range.
Medium
Medium and close.
10d4.
I'm gonna
Here
go
we
close because
Yeah.
we need less
Problems.
close problems.
8,
More
9,
distant problems, less close
10.
problems.
Can the magic Perel missiles target specific elements of that ship, or is it just a...
23.
I'm sorry, Rhiannon. I just remembered
Magitech stuff's
she wouldn't be able to do it because the
Magitech's
creature is
there.
currently projecting anti-magic cone. So at this moment, Aerois is... The only thing Aerois could do is Aerois can make an attack herself.
Okay.
Apologies, that is my fault. Lots of things to deal with. The Doom Strider is currently disabling the Magitech console.
True, okay.
So she could still attack it.
So
If she
do
attacks-
keep those D4s handy, because I'm sure you will use them at some point.
If Aerois attacks the
Strider.
who's currently anti-magicking,
Strider.
that would be good, because she's probably the best to fight them out of the, what, 3 of us that are up here?
Squishy boys.
Yeah, because we don't have magic right now.
Alright, you gonna take the horse boy down?
Yeah, so Orion's going to kind of like spoon around. She has her cutlass and she also has a Magitech pistol. What would you like?
Do the cutlass, I think.
All right, she's going to charge in.
Yeah.
Pistol wouldn't work,
Orc
right?
Fury. D20 plus 7.
Magitech.
Oh, cocked. Stood in the corner. 13.
13 total with the
Yep.
plus 7 is not enough, unfortunately. Aurora will probably get 2 attacks, though, I'd say.
Okay. 10.
This thing just kind of blocks them with its giant gnashing teeth.
Different character, same
It
luck.
does so. Different characters, same luck. Love it.
Same player.
The remaining light cruiser now, without Orion able to provide it, is going to move in to your side arc. And it is going to unleash a salvo upon the Storm Chaser. That is, however, going to be deflected by your hull on its first attack. It's going to use its second action to do the same thing. That, however, is going to hit the hull. And this is going to do...
Is that port or starboard?
This, the sides are both counted as the same thing. We're just going to count them as 100, rather than having to manage 4 whole things.
Still got 100 shield on the side,
Yes.
so...
Yeah, it's kind of shared
That's
between the
pretty
two
good.
sides. That is going to be 20 points of damage in your side.
Down to 80.
Yep.
Okie doke.
And the hull is 300 total.
Yes. Yeah.
That's underneath the shields.
That's
It
underneath
was-
the shields, yeah.
yeah.
And it's going to be difficult to repair the hull out here.
Right.
Like, it's going to be tricky.
No wood in it.
Yeah.
What about the shield?
The shields can be replenished, but it's like D10 plus like
Yeah.
3 or something like that. It's not a lot.
Okay.
So it's a continuous barrage of fire is going to wear you down pretty quickly. So you have 2 ships, one on either side and one in your front arc currently, and they are looking ready to maneuver in.
So sorry, did that hit the shields or the hull?
That hit the shields.
Shields, yeah.
Side shields.
So 80 on the side, 32
Yes.
on the front.
But that was 20 points of damage. So because it's shielded, I will roll to see if this triggers a mishap. Because it's currently shielded, there's a chance it won't.
Oh, it can still... Okay.
It does not.
Cool.
Right. So those are all the shields. Lucius, finally. Oh no, sorry, there are enemies to go.
Wow.
Well, it's because there's a new Death Mangler. That's why. There's this boy. He's going to turn
back
around and he's
to-
going to punch you.
It's more the tease.
Welcome back to episode 400 of Aerois.
No.
It's Lucius's turn.
No.
Hey, Nova's after Lucius as well.
That's
so.
true. Wait, sorry, did you say this thing's hitting me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Get crunched. Get
He's
crunched.
going to pummel you 4 times.
4 times?
Yeah. 10.
Wait, no.
29.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. 27. 11.
No.
24.
Yeah.
So 2 of these
4
strengths.
attacks with that one fist.
It's got 7
7
arms on
arms.
one
Yeah.
side.
Oh, it's attacking
and then
those
one
ones,
big
okay.
one. Yeah.
It's got one really big one, and the other one's like just tickle you.
Yeah.
He's an army.
14 damage from the first attack that hit you, and
red.
17 from the second one.
Okay. Yeah, 21 30.
Alright.
Now it's Lucius's turn. I don't.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm not going to do another captain's ability while this horse creature is in front of me, so I'm going to whip out my captain's command sword and try and stab it up through
Okay.
its jaw.
Love it.
Here we go. I'm going to 2-hand it, so it's a D10.
Sure. So you hit.
6 plus 10 is 16.
16 just barely hits this thing.
Yeah, fuck yeah, it does.
Yeah. You wedge it into like part of like its open mouth in its chest.
Yeah.
Into like its muscular folds.
Yeah, it's going to die. Here we go. 2
What?
plus 4
Oh, yeah, no, because it's a magic weapon as well. 6 points of damage. Hey,
6.
we'll take it. 6 points of damage. It's already weakened. You pull the captain's command out and you see
Is that
blood
Aerois
coming
next
out.
to me?
That is Aerois next to you.
Let's finish this thing.
Hi, Captain. She just sort of like turns to you and like draws the cutlass. Probably brings it into 2 hands as well. All right. Nova Vija. If you're done, Lucius.
I'm assuming based on just a 16, I can't like steer its head with the attack.
You can't steer its head. It kind of like wedged into its body. But, I mean, you could try and move out. I mean, like, in character, you don't know it's a cone. I'm going to tell you it's a cone. You can potentially move out and still be able to cast spells.
Yeah,
But you would risk an opportunity attack.
Can I not go onto the stairs and not remove myself?
I would say to
close
get
range?
out of the arc, you would have to move 10 feet and get out of the. You would provoke an attack opportunity because of the angle of the stairs. Because technically, this thing is like actually like here, so like, you'd have to like
Okay.
basically hop behind it. Basically,
I'm going to do that.
I'm just putting it here because I can't balance it.
That's fair.
Otherwise,
I'm going to encourage an opportunity attack, but I'm going to quicken my Armor of Agathis
okay.
into a bonus action.
Which goes off first? I guess it is the you move. You have to
I can
move
do my
before
bonus
you can do
action,
it.
right? At any time. So I can quicken my bonus action, cast Armor of Agathis, and then
Yeah,
get
but
out.
this is the thing. You have to move out
To
of the
cast.
arc
Oh, to
before you
cast.
can cast it. So I'd say, unfortunately, you can do that, but it will get the attack off before the armor goes off. But then next turn, you would have the armor ready to go.
Okay.
Providing it doesn't turn its head. But if it did, it means Quill can cast spells.
Alright.
Is that the plan?
That's the plan.
All right, I'm going to make an attack opportunity against you.
I'm going to do it at levels just so I'm not fudging it. 3.
One attack. Claw. 10. Misses.
Sick.
You slide under its gross, elongated legs as you get to the bottom of the stairs, and suddenly you feel your magic flare to life. However, you do nearly collide into another one of these creatures, which is down at the bottom, having just landed.
2 horses?
But you kind of land at the bottom, you feel that magic surge back in, and you feel the ice coalesce all over you and form into your
2
armor.
horses, I say. Nay.
Nice. Nova Vija.
I just activate self-destruct. Centered on Lucius.
Yep.
Brain die a little bit.
2 questions.
Yeah.
Too late for me.
You are technically in the deck below,
Yeah.
so you are not affected by the anti.
So my question number 1 is how much movement would it take for me to get to above deck?
I'd say your action. Like it would be an action to get out the pod and then come up to, and then your movement to get up onto the deck. So it would basically be, you'd have a bonus action left, but you would then be on deck.
Second question.
Yes.
There was no. I just
That's
went
the twist.
blank.
What an M. Night Shyamalan twist. There was
Shamalama.
no question.
3 questions. Can I fire any weapons given that I'm like I can tap into systems and stuff like that?
I will say you can at disadvantage because
Okay.
it's like it's awkward to control
Yeah.
from where you are.
And then the third question was if I tip the ship to try and tip these guys
I will
off,
say currently you cannot pilot the ship in any way as the command console is down.
what if I reroute? I don't know. If I reroute power to it, then it's.
Power is one thing, control
Yeah.
is another. I'll allow you to fire weapons, but the ship has to be piloted from the command console.
If I bonus action Misty Stepped, that wouldn't get me up fast enough, would it?
Yeah, it's 30 feet. I'd say yeah.
30
I'd say,
feet.
yeah. So you'd still have your movement.
And what's the danger of me coming out of the pod?
You are vulnerable to being attacked. You
But it
can't
doesn't
perform
do
your
any-
engineer.
it
It just means you can't perform any engineering actions. You can't restore the shields. You can't fix stuff. Or you can, but you'd have to do it manually.
So I would like to bonus action Misty Step and move up to the deck, and then can I?
So
with
you
that
kind of like
movement,
from
can I-
inside the pod, you
Yeah.
teleport out, and so you still have your move in action.
And then can I get to the horse on the top? That one, yeah.
You want to? So do you go up the stairs like up
Would
here?
I have enough movement to do that?
This thing is kind of blocking. You wouldn't be able to
Mm-hmm.
move past it. You would be able to get to the top of the stairs here, and that's about it.
Yeah, because I just want to stop it anti-magicking.
Well, the other thing I'm going to say is, as you get to the top of the stairs, once you enter its arc, you would be
Yeah,
under the same
yeah.
anti-magic.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Well, no, I have swords. I can sword
yeah,
it.
that's true. Yeah, but no, unfortunately, this thing is kind of blocking. It's kind of got
It's too
reach. So it's
big.
hitting
It's
Quill.
like, yeah, big butt.
Does it have a butt?
It does. Does seem to have a butt.
How many?
Just one.
That's unique. for these star creatures. They normally have like 7, 8, mostly
It's
teeth.
more
Most
a
of these
mouse
ones seem to
focus.
just have one butt.
Very interesting.
Do all the... No, never mind.
Get that one on the
The
wiki.
digestive
Wiki
tract of
trivia.
all those mouths.
I was just wondering if I could.
I know you're buying time for Kim.
Yeah, no, it was just because I was double checking if it's another bonus action to manifest my echo, and it is, so I can't.
It's in my head
there's,
canon though.
there's no way for me to get to Horseface,
It's
so
Not currently. Not with the Death Mangler in the way.
I will just.
You can attack the Death Mangler.
I'm gonna attack the Death Mangler.
All right.
So that is 13 plus 8 is 21.
Yes, I would say you are currently out of the anti-magic, so all the magic benefits of your work, because otherwise you wouldn't be getting like the magic bonuses to like the attack rolls and stuff like that.
Yep.
But for now you are out of the arc, so you do get those
Do
bonuses.
it. Oh god, ignore that roll. That was not.
Well, you didn't tell me it, so I'm.
I clicked on the wrong button
That's
on
fine.
the D&D Beyond. I'm
Yeah,
just
would-
double checking. Because the Radiant, I don't think the Radiant works unless I activate it.
No, it
so I
doesn't.
think it's just
Yeah.
9 points of damage.
9 points of
slashing.
damage. Slashing damage.
That is a 26 to hit. 14 points of damage.
14 points of damage. 2 cuts into the Death Mangler's back.
17 to hit.
17 hits.
8 points of damage.
8 points of damage. Tiangong just carving through it, leaving these deep gashes in its gross red musculars. You actually part a section of its back and you see almost a whole skeleton, like, help, like reach out.
Oh, Frank, no.
Anything else now?
How many buttholes does that one have?
It's a skeleton. No butts.
No
Can
butthole?
It's a skeleton.
Can I ask, do I have an action to command a crew member?
You used your bonus action and you've attacked, so no.
Okay, yeah.
It's full action.
I was going to
All
tell
right.
Howard to get another gun.
Okay. Cool. Too bad. End of turn.
End of turn.
All right. A couple of quick things. I know we're nearly out of time. I'm just going to wrap up a couple of quick things. Sentry.
No.
Swarmed by 2 of them? Yeah.
Yes.
And
Two of them are going to swarm Ayla and Sentry. They are going to make group attacks against you both. Against Sentry, that is going to be a 19, 20 total.
No.
Against Ayla, that's going to be an absolute miss because it's less than that. So these things are like scrabbling at you, but when they're near you, you do feel that kind of sluggish. You hear like this horrible noise in your head. You both currently have -2 to attack rolls and saving throws, whilst these things are nearby.
Okay. Per thing or.
Well, currently they both have -2. That's
Okay.
what I'm going to say on that.
Okay.
The very last thing, because we're near the end, you do hear, because the magic is still working on most of the ship, it's just the actual piloting controls that are currently disabled. Over the ship's comms, you hear a familiar voice. Need some help, Storm Chaser, as you see Thalia's twin star longbow.
Oh, hell
As she
yeah.
strafes one of the Valkyrian ships on the side of your of the one that's on the other side, you just see like as her blasts hammer into it, and you see the ship lurch. I'll roll a mishap as she causes a mishap on
Oh, love it.
core overload. So she does actually strike the part of the thing, and you begin to see like magic flaring across the ship. Yeah, every creature takes a bunch of damage and it gains some strain. So you watch as it kind of like lurches, and you see explosions kind of erupting as the twin star just peppers this thing with fire and then shrieks past.
Hell yeah.
I'll just point
as it
up.
looks like,
That's my girlfriend!
and that is where we are going to end today's session.
Oh,
Oh, very cool.
I'm so proud.
great.
There we go.
Great.
Very quickly before we head out, don't forget, head to freshstore.co, get your pin and get your poster
Yeah.
of the final bit of Aerois. It's the
Celebratory end of Aerois
pin
merch.
and poster.
Yeah.
And we'll be doing a signing stream on Tuesday. Thanks very much for joining us. We love you. Take care. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye. Bye. Bye.